Regeneration Show, my nigga Briggy, stand up G, he ain't no hoe. You know we make the knowledge flow and grow. Regeneration, yes we're in at this. MC Scheme 91.6.
Genesis on a punk station. Genesis, a God station. Right. Genesis on a punk station. Briggy, a God station. Right.
Half pint.
Let me know I hear what conversations God. Let me know I hear what conversations God.
As we see the and we wonder, how we sound like the thunder, showering like a blessing. They're listening.
Genesis.
What good is the knowledge? But there's no understanding. What's good is understanding without the reasoning. And if you have the reasoning, only you know what it can create. Picking up a vibe, keeping it alive.
Playtime is definitely over. So make haste. OG, original ganja. With OG, we original ganja. Hey, everything has got to be complete, and everything has got to be alright. Everything has got to be complete, and everything has got to be alright. Genesis is another place. Genesis Radio. I love Genesis. I love Genesis.
Cause they're clocking, no joking.
When it can.
We just keep on.
This is a Regeneration Show information update with Briggy.
The Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show, and we're talking about God, the devil, the Bible.
What I noticed that when you go to the churches, there's big crosses in the church here, and people wear the cross around their neck here. What is the real significance of the cross here, and what power does it really have?
Well, basically, why should someone want to wear something symbolic of the death of their God? What kind of symbol is that to wear?
The Regeneration
Be black for real, not just be black. Be really black, yeah?
For real, still black.
Once we're really black, everything can work. It's when we're not really black, it ain't gonna work.
For real, black. Wicked.
Peace, I'm out.
Oh, peace, God, yeah? Yes, that was Dennis. And it's true what you say there, man. I mean, boy, we have to really get real with ourselves and look more deep into ourselves and find out who we are.
The Regeneration Show.
And remember, this show ain't nothing if you people don't phone in, okay?
Hello. I just want to talk about black people joining the police force. I don't think they should do it at all.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the black policemen, them are the worst.
Anyway, like I say, it's Genesis 91.6 on your FM dial. And we are here for the people. And we hope the people that are with us.
I just think that why should a woman, if we want to straighten her hair and look nice, we're not trying to be like white women. If we look in the mirror, we can see our skin is dark brown or whatever the complexion you have.
And like I said earlier before, if anybody from the Pan-African or Nation of Islam or the Holy Tabernacle Ministry...
It's the Elohim. So it's the wind of the Elohim moved upon the face of the water. So when you're saying the wind of the Elohim, what are you talking about? We know how the Elohims travel. We know how these beings travel. So this is a spacecraft, a ship that you're actually talking about. Yeah, oh, it's a ship. What are you talking about? Hello, Live Caller.
I'm saying because, like, I'm from my race. There ain't nothing, you see, ain't nothing else to live for apart from your race.
For real, but that's the truth. But people keep thinking it's about career, car, family, babies, bloody trips and all them kind of things. You know what I'm saying, bud? And it's for real.
Them things will come, but what's the point having a career you ain't got a race?
You know, that's the reason why we have to have these kind of talk shows, bud, because, boy, people have to wake up, blood.
Yeah, for real,
you
man.
know?
You know what I mean? You know, but we can't join the army and
Now forget about that madness. I mean, me personally, I ain't knew what, never ever.
The Regeneration Show.
Most places, when you're as a black person, you go for interview, they want to see passport pages, all kind of madness.
Yeah?
You know what I mean, blood? Hello, do we have another call on the line? Okay, what's your name? Okay, what's your name? Okay.
Like who is power, right? They are just clearing the way for the Holocaust to continue.
Have you got anything to say? We as black people, yeah, do you think it's worth us joining the police force, the army, or the navy, etc.? Is there any benefits out of it, do you believe, or?
We believe in a mainly white society. And I think we have to, when we talk about finding our identity, yes, we do have to find ourselves.
Okay then. Okay, this is the People's Talk Show. Yeah, mate, the people, not mine, the People's Talk Show. Yeah.
God Squad.
This is Lady Sun, this is the Regeneration Black People Show. So you know what, we are regenerate everybody together, you know, because we are one blood. See there?
Yeah, well, this is a controversial message from OG Briggy. To all the youth, them meditation. To all the youth, them medication. Sure. We must confess this. Certain allegation meant we have to distress this. To the members of parliament, we address this. This is the first part of the poetic justice. Briggy say, we must confess this. Yeah, confession time.
You're tuning in to OG Briggy with the Regeneration Show on Genesis 91.6 FM. Don't touch that dial.
Yo, this is Daddy for the original No Gold Teeth Bad Boy. And 7 time we in London, we just listen to the Black Physical and Mental Regenerational Show. Don't touch that dial. Bam!
God Squad.
Okay, London Town, and warm welcome to the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show. How are you doing out there? I know temperature's hot. Gosh, man, we're all in the studio. Me, Andy Morrison, Brother Dane, also Brother Jib, okay, in the house. And believe me, yeah, it's 100 degrees in there, man. We need some air conditioning. We need some air conditioning management. Joe. Anyway, the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show. Want to big up the bum sisters from North, East, South, West crew. Also the brothers and sisters them locked down in the jails. Also our brothers and sisters them in the suburbs, yeah. Also want a big shout out to Junior Sunday, #1 listener. Well, that's Junior Sunday, lucky on the Radio Show all the time. Also want to give a big shout out to the driver. Boy, me and driver's been grafting for the past week out in this sun, you don't believe. Anyway, driver, I hope you're doing fine anyway, driver. I hope that you locked in still anyway, yeah. Anyway, I also want to take time out to big up Big T. He's not in the studio today. Big T's supposed to be meeting down there. Big T, give me a call and let me know why I'm still here. Also, Ricky, alias, a.k.a. Commissioner, the bad boy, okay, for earlier on today, the People's Talk Show. Enough respect still to all the callers who called in here. Anyway, the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show. OG Briggy's in the house. And you know, playtime is most definitely over. And you know, we're most definitely here for you, okay? So, London Town here. Anyway, we have Brother Dane, okay, from Dash. That's DASH, that's Dash, okay, that's Drugs Advisory Service for Harringay, yeah, brother? Okay, that's Brother Dane from Dash Drug Advisory Service from Harringay, okay? Also, Brother Jib from YOP, okay, that's Youth Awareness Program, okay, that's the Youth Awareness Program on drugs, brother, yeah? Okay, anyway, don't forget the brothers are from Harringay, London Town, yeah? The live number is 0958-504-906, London Town, you know how we do it already, yeah? When you're ready, you just basically phone in and answer your question. That's 0958-504-906. London Town, I'll catch you up in a couple of seconds. Peace.
This is Don Luchas, and this is Briggy's Black Spiritual, Mental, and Physical Regeneration Show. Here's an update of some well-known celebrities who all listen and support the Regeneration Show. Warning.
We must remind you, all of these celebrities are real.
This is Angelo Starr from the Edwin Starr Band, and I listen to Radio Genesis.
Hi,
Hi, my name is Crystal Rose, and I listen to Briggy on Genesis Radio.
My name is Tony Tucker. When I'm in London, I listen to Briggy.
Ladies, Princess, man, listen out to Briggy. Big shout out to Briggy. You know the Prince is heavy.
Yeah, my name's Les right now, and I listen to Briggy on Genesis Radio.
Hi, I'm Nigel Ben. I listen to Briggy on Genesis.
Hi.
My name is Anthony Quinn. I listen to Briggy on Genesis Radio with a great pleasure.
My name Johnny P. Mr. Briggy on Genesis 91.6.
Hey, make sure you listen to Briggy on 91.6. Message from Gary Mason.
My name is Michael Watson. I listen to Briggy on Genesis.
Keep it locked to the conscious station around town. Genesis, the number one. Keep the unity in the community. Lennox Lewis said that.
The Regeneration Show, touching the hearts and souls of many, but the chosen are few.
Okay, London Town, the Black Spiritual Metaphysical Regeneration Show, Genesis 91.6 on your FM dial. And you know it's the baddest station in the world. I'll tell you. Anyway, off of that, London Town, and let's get real now. Anyway, London Town, today's subject, we're going to be dealing with drugs. Okay, London Town in the community. We've got two brothers coming in London Town to share some information about drugs. Also to give some breakdowns, London Town, also on the drugs. You know, like weed, the cannabis, basically heroin. We're going to try and give breakdowns of some symptoms and crack everything, right? We're going to try and cover everything. Yeah, London Town, you know about the drug situation already. We ain't going to be telling you nothing you don't really know already, yeah? But still, London Town, you know, we're here for you. Phone in, feel free, okay? Anyway, 0958-504-906. Now, you know how we do it, London Town. I'm going to ask the brothers them a few questions then. Basically, I'll open up the live link here. I also want to give a big shout out to Andy Morris who's in the studio. And, you know, Andy will have some questions. Andy's giving his smile, you know? Yeah, $1 million smile. Anyway, London Town, we're most definitely here for you anyway. Anyway, so brothers here, do you want to say hello to London Town first, please?
Yes, no, put my tongue in at least. Yes, sir. Just respect to everyone out there, east, west, south, north even. And just want to say we're here tonight talk about the issues of drugs. Anything you want to know about drugs, we are willing to answer any questions. So, you know, you got the number, give us a ring sometime, yeah?
Good evening, London. Can't say much else to what Dane's just said. Be waiting for your calls.
Okay, so brothers here, first I want to start with both still, because you know that background and everything, just so London Town knows exactly who's in the studio and where your brothers them coming from, yeah? Okay. Anyway, so start with Brother Dane, yeah? This is from Drugs Harmony Advice Service for Harringay. Okay? Okay. That door start, believe. Anyway, London Town, yeah? So brothers, can you just give us a little background about yourself still? Starting with Brother Dane first, yeah?
Okay, yes. First of all, I've been in drugs field for about 4 or 5 years, and at the moment I'm working currently with the black community in Harringay, where I'm looking at anything to do with the issues of drugs. I want to be there, you know, so I'm trying to do something in the community there. Just pass you on to Jib here now.
Yeah, I've been in the field for something like 6-7 years. I first started in the field because I noticed that a lot of people in my community started using drugs, and there weren't many workers from the Asian community. That's why I started. I'm still doing the same work and trying to help a lot of the brothers out there and sisters.
You know, the subject of drugs is, you know, a lot of people, you know, when I talk to clients and everything, there's a lot of myths going around issues of drugs. And today, you know, what I really want to do is just make people aware of both the good sides and the bad sides of drugs. We're not here to tell people that drugs are bad or drugs are good. We're here about giving proper information about what drugs are about and what they will do to you. So we're telling you pure truth. We're not here to, you know, big up one side or another. We're just here to give you proper information so that you can make an informed choice around the issues of drugs here today.
Okay, so Brother Dane, yeah, so what part do you play in your organisation anyway?
Well, I'm the black outreach worker for the whole of Harringay. So that basically means me setting up community projects, sites in Harringay, to anything to do with black drug users in Harringay. So, you know, that's what I basically do. So I go out, so, you know, our philosophy is that if they can't come to us as an agency, then I'm going out to the black people in Harringay to offer them a service around the issues of drugs.
Okay, so basically Dash doesn't have like a head man or anything like that. You don't pay that part there, so no?
No, I don't pay a head person, but you know, as far as like anything to do with the black community, that's more of my speciality. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, Bobby, don't worry, you're gonna be tested on that later. Okay, yes, sir. Okay, so also, brother Jib, yeah. Okay, what part do you play in your organisation, brother?
Yeah, I'm the manager at Harringay Yap. I manage my staff team and the services that we have on offer there. It's a counselling, advice and support service, an education service educating young people around the effects of drugs, and also a training service helping young unemployed people that are interested in the drugs field, training them up and giving them an opportunity to seek a career in that field.
Okay, so brother Jib, yeah, you're from the Asian community still, yeah? Yes. So when you're dealing with drugs, you're dealing with drugs in the Asian community, black community, white community. Can you just be specific, yeah?
Yeah, in Harringay, the service is there for young people up to the age of 25, and it's not an issue around race. We provide a service for everybody, but still we recognise the different needs of different communities, so we try to cater for the needs.
Okay, brother, because I mean we hear a lot about still drugs in the black community, but I don't really hear nothing about drugs in the Asian community, yeah? So is there a big drug problem in the Asian community at all?
Very much so, very much so. I would say since the 80s, you know, since the last decade, it's just kind of exploded. Drug use in the Asian community from the late 80s up until the 90s now, with all the dancing and everything else. It's just kind of, I suppose, integrated all the various different communities together. And I would most certainly say that there is a growing problem within the Asian community.
Okay, did any of the brothers take any degrees, examinations here to study about drugs and the effects on people in the community?
I mean, I haven't studied. I haven't got. I'm not a social work. I haven't got a social work background, or I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I mean, basically, I started from the street. You know, just got involved with drugs. I dabbled a little bit in drugs. Then I got onto the youth awareness program, and from there, I just learnt about the drugs, the side effects, the good parts, the negative parts of drugs, and it's just an interest of mine, and it's now paying my wages.
Okay, brother Dane, you just mentioned that you used to dabble with drugs. Okay, you mentioned it, brother. Yeah. Okay. So, brother, can you just give us a little insight into the drugs that you used to dabble with?
With me, I mean, I'll tell you my story. I mean, for me, I've never really been into drugs. The first time I ever took drugs, the first drug I ever took was cannabis. I was about 21 years old, and I got introduced to it through an ex-girlfriend. You know, so I've never really been involved in drugs as such. It's just something that I've, you know, smoked a little bit of weed and popped a pill, you know, a few years ago. But it's nothing really that I've really been into. Because for me, when I used to go out dancing, I used to get off with a pure natural high. I didn't need anything to have a good time with.
Well, still, I believe most people in their youths, yeah, basically kind of dabble around with drugs still. That's if they're not really taught about it and everything like that, yeah? Okay, brother, yeah, so basically, yeah, what kind of people come to your programs? I mean, like, rich, poor, what kind of backgrounds are they coming from?
Well, our organisation, Dash, we see people from every single background. I mean, you'll be surprised some of the people who come into our organisation. You know, I've worked with so-called soul singers who've come in for drug problems. I've worked with working women, gay black men, you name it. I've worked with them all. You know, drugs doesn't discriminate. It just goes right across the border. So, you know, that's the reason why I'm here. I just want to give out proper information for everybody.
I'd just like to point out, when we say we're working with people, it's if we look at class, it's not just the working class that we work with. You'd be surprised how many middle class people have problems around drugs. Well, even though they may well have the money, you know, there's another side to it. Doesn't necessarily mean if you've got money, or you've got money to buy drugs, you're not going to get involved in crime. There's issues around the effects of drugs, the psychological and physical effects of drugs, and the long-term issues around that.
Okay, Bobby, moving on to drug addiction now, Bobby. What exactly is drug addiction? Starting with Brother Tib first.
Addiction, it can be. They define it in two ways: physical and psychological addiction. Now, when we when we take addiction into account, I think we need to be looking at the nature of the drug first and foremost. Each drug in itself will have, every drug is psychologically addictive, but some are much more powerful than others. And when we're talking about addiction, we're talking about somebody who is dependent on a drug and somebody who basically can't go without it, whether it be, doesn't necessarily have to be on a daily basis. It could be, say for example, a crack user. We call them people that use maybe on a weekly or on a monthly basis. We call them bingers, but they will have a binge and they may do a grand's worth over a weekend. That's an addiction, but they do not recognise that, no?
Yeah, well, for myself, you know, there's psychological and physical addiction. For me, an addiction is an addiction. You know, I sometimes speak to people and they want me to break it down. What's the difference between psychological and emotional? For me, it's all the same. I think that's one way of working with people. You've got to see the person as a whole person. You can't just see them as, you know, they've got an addiction with this, with like crack, and it's just crack. Crack for me is just like the icing on the cake. You have to look at other factors like, you know, economics. You have to look at politics. You have to look at history even, so that you know where that brother or sister's coming from, so that you can help them. You know, you need to know where they've come from so that they can move forward. And so, you know, for me, we've got to look at the whole issue here.
Yeah, we've touched on psychological and physical addiction, but with certain drugs such as ecstasy, crack, you know, they talk about chemical dependence because it works on chemicals in the brain, and that's another definition that they use in the clinical field.
Okay, brothers. Yeah. So dealing with, like how you interview brothers and sisters, yeah, you take. Okay, like we've got a live link already. Yeah. Should we take the live link? Yeah. Okay, we lost that live link anyway. Anyway, caller, you know what I mean? Feel free, 0958 504 906. Yeah. So, brothers, yeah, basically, dealing with people from the communities that I was saying before, yeah, you talk to kind of people, yeah. What's the most, what would you say mainly the reasons why people go to take drugs?
That's a $64 million question there. Why do people take drugs? Boy, you know, the society that we live in, particularly if you're black, we're in a hostile environment here, you know, and we sometimes need ways of escaping from, you know, from abuse, from racism, from prejudice, from sexism, from all the isms, you know, and that's one of the reasons why people might take drugs here.
And let's not forget about, you know, fun. A lot of people use for fun. A lot of people start using because they're curious. They want to find out about how the drugs are going to affect them. Yeah, and also to maybe escape from their own reality. If they've got a lot of pressures, a lot of problems, drugs may be a way that can just kind of, I don't know, make it easier to cope with.
Okay, London time, we've got the brother, the Big T in the studio. Big T, you want something to London time?
Yes, London. Thanks for all the listeners them out there, yes? And keep it locked on Genesis.
Okay, I also want to send a big shout out to Daddy Cooley. Enough respect, Daddy Cooley, because Daddy Cooley is one who set up this meet with the brothers today. Daddy Cooley, anyway, they're all up here, yes? Okay, so brothers, yeah, would you say that black people are more addicted to drugs?
Most certainly not. Most certainly not. I think if you have a look at the statistics in some of the research that we've been involved in, you will find it's a lot of the users are mainly white British, I would say, in terms of the many people that are actually using out there. I think those people that may well think, you know, drugs is a problem within just the black community, it's just basically looking at stereotyping that community that, you know, that community's actually got the problem. But if we have a look at statistics, I would most certainly say that there's more white people out there using, because we, as a community, whether we're Asian or black, we are a minority within this country.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, brother, yeah. So what it is, I have to ask you this question, brother, yeah, still, because what it was last week's Sunday, there was a people's talk show, yeah, and I came on early on during the day, and what it is, someone said to me, basically, how do Asian people define themselves as black people or Asian? Because you as an Asian brother, you can just quickly just answer that question, yeah?
Well, from a personal standpoint, I think most certainly a lot of the experiences that the African Caribbean communities experience and a lot of the experiences that the Asian communities have experienced are very, very similar. Myself, I don't even like the term Asian, to be honest with you. You know, I'm a Pakistani, and that's what I define myself as. But in terms of politics, then we would use the word black to unite us as various different communities in the same kind of struggle that we have living in this society.
Okay, brother, yeah. So, going back to drugs, brother. So, basically, yeah, you know, like if someone's like under the influence of drugs, basically, yeah, is it easy to stop taking drugs?
I mean, the thing is with drugs, I mean, I speak to so many people, you know, day in, day out, and they might ring up and say, well, my brother or my cousin or my sister's on drugs, you know, what can I do? And what I often say is that at the end of the day, you know, they can only help themselves. We can't work with people unless they actually want to give up the drugs themselves. But saying that, you know, we can support one another. So if you know of a brother or sister who's got a problem with, you know, with a drug of some kind, it's letting them know that you always love them, you'll be there for them, no matter, you know, through thick and thin. You know, it's letting the person know that you are going to be there for them. And when they do actually want to, like, give up, then they know that they can turn to your brother and sister and say, you know, I want to give up now.
Peace. This is Showing AG, dealing with all aspects of life, the physical, the spiritual, and the mental, on the Regeneration Show with my man Briggy. And this is how we do, straight from the Briggy down Bronx.
Okay, London Town, we've got a live link. We're going to take the live link, okay? Hello, Genesis Radio.
Yeah, peace.
Yeah, what's your name, brother? Where you calling from?
Pardon?
What's your name, brother? Where you calling from?
My name is Chris, and I'm talking from East London.
Nice one, bud.
I just wanted to find out how come there's so much drugs in the black community, you know?
Okay.
And if the people, if the brothers them believe that there's a conspiracy to kill off black people in the black community, I want to know if you can answer that.
Whoa. A conspiracy in the black community. Well, you know, drugs have been around for a long, long, long time. It's been used medically, you know, for many, many hundreds of years. But the issue with drugs killing off people in the black community, I'll try and run a bit of history for you.
No, I just want to know if you believe that. And if you believe that, what you do about it.
Well, for me, you know, I'm in the system. You know, the way that I look at it is that I'm in the system. And I'm trying to do something for the black people who have a problem with drugs in our community. You know, what you got to remember is that most drug agencies for a long time weren't catering for black people. It's only now recently.
Brother, maybe we have to, right? But I'm dealing with there's crack, weed, heroin, alcohol, all them kind of things in the black community. We all suffer, you know? We have sisters who have a crack baby and they pan crack and I sell them body, you know? I'm saying, do you think, for instance, Boys in the Hood, I think he's that film where the brother said, the man them are bringing drugs to wipe us off, you know? To keep us out of the system, keep us down. Do you believe that?
I believe that drugs can be used to suppress, you know...
Is it being used? That's what I want to know.
It can be used, yes. No, you know, me personally, I do believe that it is being used to suppress, you know...
All right.
Yes, brother. I just want to say, with the point that you've just brought up, I would most certainly agree with that, but you also have brothers out there that are also pumping drugs into their own communities, and that's something that we need to be aware of.
Yes, but I understand that, you know, but what we have to understand is that those people who, I think you said something about stereotype in the black community. I don't think so. We are bringing the drugs in the community. You know, we're being used as tools, even whether we know it or not. The yardies, black man, black woman in the community, we're being used as tools. There's bigger man earning bigger money.
Very much so.
Yeah. Politicians and so forth are bringing money, bringing drugs into the community, and we are suffer.
That's right. I think.
And suffer at the hands of our own people because they're so ignorant. They must sell drugs to our own people and the kids, them, you know.
Yeah, and I make you right. And I think one of the key issues for me working in Harringay is the fact that in the Tottenham area where we're based, we have a large proportion of African Caribbean people in that area, but the unemployment rate in that area, you know, if we have a look at the statistics, we're talking something like, you know, over 50-60% of young black men being unemployed within that area in itself. So that in itself is a factor to you know, drug use, drug dealing, stuff like that, because it's a matter of survival as well for those people that are out there.
I just wanted to find out if the brother them, the two of you believe that. And from me know that you believe that, me know say on I work some kind of format or strategic plan to help us out, and respect for that still, you know. I know you can't really say too much on the radio, but respect for that still, yeah?
Thank you, sir.
All right, big up. Peace.
Yeah. Okay, London Town, Black Spiritual Metaphysical Regeneration Show. Our first caller there, okay, London Town. Live at number 0958504906, yeah. Okay, brother, yeah, what we want to move on to now, yeah? Oh, you got something to say, brother Jim, now? Okay, what we want to move on to now, brother, yeah? The brother there just mentioned that drugs was in the community, yeah? Okay, like crack and heroin and basically the cannabis, yeah, and the alcohol, yeah? So, brothers, yeah, how would somebody tell you if somebody's under influence of drugs? What symptoms do you look for, brother Dave?
Well, you know, usually when I'm working with people and they might be under the influences, a lot of it is like mannerism. Like, for example, if someone's smoking cannabis, you know, people might have the giggles, for example. So you'll be in a room and you'll be looking at, you look at your mate. Next thing you know, you just burst out laughing for no apparent reason. And then you've got the thing called the munchies. And the munchies is like you might be all sitting there. Next thing you know, boy, let me go into the fridge. Let me go and raid the fridge. So next thing you know, there's nothing in the fridge. You go down to the petrol station. You're giving the old man behind a till, jip. You want Mars bar. You want Lucozade. You want crisps. You want all the nice sugary sweet things. I mean that's like one of the common things to look out for when someone's like smoking cannabis, for example. You know. And you know, obvious one might have the old red eyes as well. You know, and there's also short-term memory loss. So you might be saying something, and then you might forget what you're saying, type thing. You know what I mean?
I think the other factor there is apart from memory loss, is that the person may well be, some people would say lean. They would use the word lean. And what I would say is, you know, a person is the reaction times are much slower. Yeah. But it does very much vary for cannabis because it does affect people in different ways. It's not only a depressant, it is also a stimulant, and it is also a hallucinogen, which basically means that it can make you hallucinate. That's the only drug that would come under all three categories, I think.
I mean, the thing is with cannabis, I mean, a lot of people, for many years, I used to hear that cannabis was harmless. You know, you could be addicted to sex, you could be addicted to chocolate, you could be addicted to anything else except cannabis. But, you know, the fact is that cannabis is just as harmful as the hardest of drugs, i.e. cocaine, crack, or whatever. And, you know, I see some people here shaking their heads, but, you know, this is the reality out here. You know, cannabis can be dangerous for some people.
Yeah, this is Big T, yeah? Going back to the cannabis there, yeah? Do you believe that the cannabis is being mixed? Because when I used to smoke, yeah, the thing, like, the first thing that comes into my head is violence, basically. I mean, as you say, it affects people differently. But the first thing to come into my head is violence, you know what I'm saying? Do you believe it's being mixed?
Well, I don't personally know whether it's being mixed or not, but, you know, with drugs, they all have different effects on different types of people. And the thing is to remember, with especially like cannabis, is that you've got 3 different forms of cannabis. You've got like the weed type, like marijuana, the herb type, and that's more of a lighter type buzz. You know, so it's more of a trippier type buzz. And then you've got like the hash, like the brown oxo cube type. That is more of a sedative because, you know, it's more of a sedative. So if you smoke some of that, you're going to want to just be able to sit back and just watch the world go by. And the third type is the cannabis oil. So it depends on what you're smoking, will have different effects on you as a person.
Just to kind of shed a little bit more light on the question that you asked, Bob. But yeah, cannabis is a drug that's manufactured, and nowadays, if we have a look at what's happening in Amsterdam, you know, they can be messing. When we talk about human DNA, they can do the same thing with plants, so they can make it much more potent. So I would most certainly say that, yeah, it may well be. It may well be.
Okay, brothers. But obviously, brothers, there's brothers and sisters out there in the community who use cannabis, yeah? And some people say it's the healing of the nation, yeah? Basically, yeah? Right, so what would you say to those people who say, yeah, the weed is the healing of the nation?
Well, let me come from my own personal standpoint now. I believe, you know, as a human being, God created me in a certain way. My body is not made to take smoking. My body is not made for me to be intoxicated, so it's going to be slowing me down in terms of my development, my way of thinking.
Okay, brother, you want to finish your saying?
I mean, I suppose what I want to say is that we're not just you know, what we're saying here, we're telling the truth about drugs. As I said right at the beginning, we're here to give you proper information, both the good side and the bad side. So once you know it, you can then make an informed choice. But, you know, when I see people, you know, who've had problems with drugs, most drug users, the only thing they talk about is the good side. Yeah, it was a good buzz, it was really nice, and I had a really good time, yeah. But a lot of people don't talk about the side where they were looking at a wall and they was watching spiders go up the wall, or hearing voices and stuff like that. So we're here about giving proper information. So whether it offends people, you know, I'm just here to give proper information.
Okay, sticking to cannabis, brother. Yeah, they also like the herb side of it, medical side of it. Yeah, what good can cannabis do for you?
I mean, with cannabis, as I was trying to say to the other caller, it's been used for hundreds and hundreds of years. Our foreparents used to use it medically. So, you know, my great foreparents, they used to go into the garden or wherever it was and pick a little bit of cannabis, brew up in a tea, and used to drink it, or they used to eat it. But, you know, now, most of us are more concentrated on just smoking it. And anything you smoke, anything you burn, is destroying the goodness out of it.
Okay. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, brother? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Carl.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling from Leighton.
Enough respect.
And I work with the brothers that are on the station at the moment.
Okay, brother.
And I just like to say that they're doing a good job.
Okay.
And basically, we're talking about cannabis. One of the brothers would like to talk about how it can be used as like in a medicine, how you can like boil it and drink it, and how it, you know, can be effective like that, and also how a lot of drugs have been used throughout the centuries as medicines that have been like messed around and, you know, synthesized and changed up. One of the brothers would like to talk a bit about that.
Right, Carl, yes.
Yeah, how you doing, Jim?
All right, safe, bro.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, for medicinal purposes, it can be used for glaucoma, which is a disease of the eye. And, you know, with some research that's been done, there's no evidence to say that it will stop that process. It does alleviate the pain. And I believe there was one gentleman in America that actually fought the case because he was caught in possession with cannabis, and he fought the case and he won the case because he was actually using it for medicinal purposes, and that was glaucoma. And also multiple sclerosis. Yeah, stuff like that. It is a muscle relaxant. So people that suffer from multiple sclerosis, those people could actually use that drug, and it would make their quality of life much better.
That's right.
Anybody out there listening who knows about multiple sclerosis, they will know how painful it is. It's like having cramp all over your body, basically. And cannabis can actually help to alleviate that pain.
That's right. Yeah, and also it's true that Queen Victoria used to use a bit of cannabis as well. She used to boil it and drink it for period pains because it's,
right,
as you were saying.
Yeah, many years ago her physician did actually prescribe that, and she used to drink cannabis in her tea to help her with her period pains. Yeah, that's another thing that's actually been used for.
Okay then.
I think what you've got to remember is like drugs has been used for many hundreds of years medically. You know, the Aztec engines used to use cocaine. They used to use it for spiritually. You know, they used to chew the coca leaf and then go on a spiritual enlightenment. But the thing is, what we're now doing with drugs is that we're now putting everything into compartments and categories. So we're only extracting like the cocaine bit and forgetting about everything else. So, you know, we're doing damage to our bodies by taking drugs here. I suppose what we're trying to do is just give out proper information.
That's right. Yeah, as I said, I'd like to say, you know, good luck to the brothers again, and for giving up their time, you know, going over there this evening and, you know, spending time to give, like, information to the people.
Yeah. Okay, my brother. Enough respect for your
All right, then.
Okay,
Okay, good night, yeah? All right, bye.
Yeah. Okay. London Town, the live number 0958-504-906. You know London Town, you phone it when you're ready, yeah? Okay. So, brother, yeah, I should have started off with tobacco first, yeah, because a lot of people smoke cigarettes and they think stuff, yeah, it doesn't affect me or anything like that, yeah? Is there any ups about smoking cigarettes, basically?
Well, in America, I heard that there's a small tobacco company which is now admitting liability. That it does cause cancer of the throat, cancer of the lungs. For me, smoking is it's one of the biggest killers out there. After like alcohol. So yes, tobacco is very dangerous.
When we talk about legal drugs, alcohol, the cannabis, cigarettes and alcohol. If we look at the harm these drugs can cause. These drugs kill hundreds of thousands of people each year, and they're actually legal drugs that are being sold. And I think maybe the reason why they are being sold is because of the money that government can actually get in terms of tax, which is
There's people, brother, who smoke 60 cigarettes a day and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a deep addiction. Yeah. I mean, basically, what is the tobacco doing to them? Is it messing around their brains, their blood, their sperm, their eggs?
And basically, what you just now said there, yeah, it is affecting them as well as their breathing as well. But going on to cannabis as well, talking about myths. When I used to do school workshops, I used to say to people, what's safer, smoking a cigarette or smoking a spliff? And the majority of people would put their hands up and say, yes, smoking a spliff is safer. But then I'd break it down. So, I'll do the same thing. First thing I'd say is, how many Rizzlers do you need? And kids as young as 7 would say, well, 6 or 3 or whatever. So they'll tell me how many Rizzlers. Then they'll say, next thing is you put in the tobacco. So already you've negated what I've said. You need tobacco. When I'm saying tobacco here, in Western society, the way we smoke cannabis here is that we add tobacco and the weed, and then we roll it into a spliff. And then there's a thing called the filter or the roach. A roach isn't to filter out what you're smoking in. It's there so you can get a better lug. So when you smoke, you get as much smoke into your lungs as possible. So there's a lot of myths flying around as far as cannabis and smoking is concerned.
It's like that. When somebody is smoking a spliff, it's like equivalent of smoking 5 Benson Hedges fags. And in terms of tar, where Dane just said that you have a roach and it's not a filter, so that could be equivalent to maybe 20 or even 40 packets, 40 Benson Hedges cigarettes in terms of tar content. That's something that people need to take into account.
Okay, London Town, the Black Spiritual Metaphysical Regeneration Show, Genesis 91.6 on your FM dial. I always say it's most definitely here for you, yeah? So when you feel ready, your phone is still, yeah? So, brother, what we want to do now, we want to move on to crack, because crack was mentioned a few times still, yeah? So, but hold on, first, before I say that, brother, yeah, I must ask the brothers a question. What do you feel should happen to the brothers, all citizens that are out there, yeah, helping to destroy their own communities? Basically, selling drugs.
Whoa, what a question. For some people, they don't know any better. Do you know what I mean? It's like they haven't gone on the road of enlightenment. They don't realise what they're doing is not only killing themselves, but killing the whole of the black community and playing into the hands of the powers to be.
Just adding to what Dane said, I think we need to take into account that society has actually created these problems. For a lot of people out there that are selling, that are dealing, it's a way of life for them. The black community has been oppressed for many, many years. A lot of young men out there do not see any future for themselves in society. They don't see no future. They don't see a role for themselves. And for a lot of them, drugs is a way out, whether it means selling. So I think what we need to be doing is to look at what we can do for our communities as a whole. There's issues around developing knowledge around the spiritual self. There's issues around looking at what we as a community as a whole can do as well. And I think it is about working together. And that's the way forward for me.
Okay, London Town, so I'll have to throw that question out there to you, London Town. What do you think should happen to the brother system who are killing their own, selling drugs, and who know exactly what they're doing, and they're seeing people come up to them every day and deteriorating more and more, but they're still continuing, So I thought that one out to you, London Town, anyway, So now we're going to move to crack now, brothers, So basically, crack. What is crack? Is it the same as cocaine?
Crack is not the same as cocaine. With crack is like, for me, a totally different drug. The way that you make crack is that initially you'll get the cocaine, and then what you're trying to do is extract the salts from it. Because when you have cocaine, if you smoke cocaine with, like in a joint, for example, the cocaine burns at a too low a temperature. So most of the cocaine is evaporating. So this is now like why cracks now come about, because it burns at a much higher temperature, because they've removed the salts from it, the freebased it. Thing is with crack, it's like I've heard people say, think of every good experience you've ever had in your life, times it by 1,000, and you're still not reaching the high of crack. That's how potent it can be for some people. But as I often say, what goes up must come down. So, for about 10-15 minutes, you're going. Some people might feel like they're on top of the world, they're God. No one can touch them, they're the Don. But then when they come down, they really, really, really come down. They'll crash. They go right down to the bottom. They'll be at the depths that they've never been there before. So when they're down there, they might say to themselves, boy, 5 minutes ago I was really up there, really high. How can I get back up there again? And then that's when I'll think, let me lick another rock and let me get back up there to where I was before. And then, over a period of time, this is how people then become addicted to crack. And it's a serious addiction. And I'd say your name. I say your name. Briggy, how are you? Your first immediate reaction is to turn around to acknowledge that someone's mentioned my name. That's where crack gets into. Yeah. So another example is you could be walking down the street, you meet a guy who's got a dog, and you start talking to your mate. You say, "What's your dog's name?" He says, "Oh, it's Charlie." Charlie, cocaine, crack, and this guy's now off on a binge for another 2-3 days.
Okay, we've got a live link. We're going to take this live link still, Hello, Genesis Radio.
How's that, Brother Briggy?
Yes, sir.
Just replying to your question about what do we do with people selling drugs in the black community.
Okay, brother.
Firstly, we have to take consideration for those individuals that don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
But once given the information and they're still carrying on what they're doing, we have to regard those individuals as our enemies. As they are our enemies, we deal with them likewise.
Okay, brother.
Okay? With regard to drugs, crack in the community, cannabis, what we've got to understand is that drugs are being used in our community as a tool to oppress us. Yeah? Now what we have to understand is that crack on drugs combined with melanin can be lethal. I assume that you're aware of melanin.
Are you talking to me, brother? Or are you talking to the brother in the studio?
Okay. Melanin is a chemical that we all have in our bodies. All human beings have it. But people of color have more of it. Yeah?
Yeah, go on, brother.
Now, drugs...
Okay, what happened there? I think we lost the brother, yeah? Yeah, okay, we lost the brother. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that still, yeah? Does drug affect black people more different from white people, or is it the same?
I mean, Hotep to my brother who just now called. This side of it, yet again, there's no scientific proof, but, from what I do know, those people of color, i.e. black, as our caller was saying, cocaine and crack our body sees it as part of themselves. Okay, I think it's a caller here.
Okay, we take this live link. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Hotep again.
Yeah, yes, brother.
Got cut off.
What happened there?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay, don't matter. Go on anyway, brother.
Yeah, as I was saying about the melanin in our body, it's the chemical that we have in our body. All human beings have it, but people of color have more of it. It's the pigmentation that gives us our color in our skin, in our bodies. It's not just the pigmentation in the body, it's also in the brain, it's also in certain parts in the body, in our ears and in our eyes. If we didn't have melanin, we wouldn't be able to see. That black dot that you see in your pupil, that's melanin. It's also in your ears. This is why we hear music to a certain degree. This is why people of color like the bass line of the music. This is why we have a heavy beat bass line, different to how Caucasian people have their music, where there is no bass line. Are you with me?
Yeah, we're hearing you, brother. London Times here, and you know the score, brother.
Oh, okay, brother, okay. Now, melanin, as the brother was saying, he claims that it's not been proven, because they don't want to prove it because it's us that they're dealing with. Now, if they want to oppress us with a tool, which one of it is drugs, then they ain't going to tell us that melanin is combined with drugs is going to have a more lethal effect on us than other people who have melanin. Yes? Now, once we have crack in our system, or any other drug, even cannabis, the soft drugs called cannabis, you may have a Caucasian person smoking cannabis and a black person smoking cannabis, but you will find that the person of color has a higher high than the person who don't have color. White people don't get as high as black people. This is why they always plastering yourself, excuse the expression, you know, they go to the pub every evening to plaster themselves, get drunk and so forth. We don't want to get drunk, we only want to get red. This is the term I'm using within the black community. We only want to get red, we only want to just feel nice, yes? But black and white people want to get plasters, they want to get out of their head, they want to get smashed on their face, yeah? Because if they smoke the same quantity as us, they don't feel like us, so they have to have more, yeah? They have to have more. Now, I'm referring back to an earlier question you said, black community. There's no doubt about it. But it's been used for medicinal purposes over many years. Not by smoke, to the body. That's what we have to take into consideration. Now, for many years, cannabis has been in our community, and we've been able to progress, okay? And then all of a sudden, cocaine started to come in. The white lady started to come in. The crack started to come in. Now, there've been brothers out on weed for many years, but all of a sudden they're taking to crack. Now, what my assumptions are, what my documentation that I have, says that the weed is being sprayed with cocaine and sprayed with other chemicals. So when the brother is smoking weed, he ain't smoking the same weed as he used to smoke. So he wants to get a higher high. He wants it, the weed ain't doing it for him anymore. So he wants to go to somewhere where he can get a better buzz. Yes? And this is where the crack comes in. The crack is introduced, so he smells the crack, because if you take into consideration how the crack works in the mind and the body, it's a psychological addiction. So you just have to smell crack or smell something that looks like crack, and you're gone away. You're on this cycle where you want to just chase the drug down. Now I'm saying we have to take into consideration that drugs are being used as a tool, right down to cannabis. You know, I mean, if I was smoking weed, I'd have to go deep down in Africa or the Caribbean, where I know it's growing natural. That's the only way I can trust it. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it's coming over. We don't know where it's coming over. The little couple of pounds that brothers are bringing in on the plane, you know, that ain't enough. It's been brought in by shiploads, and we don't know what it's been sprayed with. So I'm saying that's what we need to take into consideration.
Yes.
Hotep.
I mean, I absolutely agree with what you're saying there. Sorry. Yes, Dane here. I absolutely agree with what the brothers just now saying there. That, we do need to start looking at ourselves, and start looking at the drugs issue on a much wider context here. Not just about the drugs give me a nice little buzz, but to think about all these issues what the brothers just now talking about. The political side, the economic side. The question of how do drugs get into this country?
That's right, brother.
As my brother just now said there, you've got the odd brother bringing in the £2 here and the £2 here, But, you know, how do the large quantities get into this country? It's not by the black brothers in their BMW cars. You know, it's by the shipload. It's by the plane load.
I
How
think
is it
what...
getting into the country?
Sorry, brother. I think what we need to get across to the people is that melanin is the key. Melanin is what we have. It's what is being used against us, but we don't know about it. We don't know about melanin because we've been portrayed as being black as negative, so people want to bleach their skin or move away from their blackness. Now, we need to come back to our blackness, okay, and start talking about why we're black or why we're people of color, why we have melanin in our bodies, and why it is people who don't have melanin in our bodies, okay? That's what we need to be talking about within the black community. That is not being addressed in most drug agencies. We need to talk about melanin.
Absolutely right. You know, what you're saying there is absolutely right. It's not being addressed in most drugs agencies. You know, for myself, I'm a brother who's only, my eyes have only just now been opened. You know, it's only recently that I'm now becoming aware of certain issues. Yeah, but for me, I'm a drugs worker foremost, and, you know, I do know about what's happening as far as drugs is concerned in the community. So anything to do with drugs, I can tell you. Yeah, melanin side of it, I cannot say because, to be honest, I really, really don't know a lot about melanin.
Well, this is what I'm saying, bro. We need to understand that, you know, you're in a position where you're dealing with our people. You need to understand that when you're dealing with our people, you need to know the truth and the facts about our people. So when we talk about drugs in the community and why a brother's out there on crack and can't seem to come off, he tries so much, he comes to the drug agency, he gets counselling, he gets this, he gets that, and he just can't seem to hack it. The brother needs knowledge of self. The brother needs to know who he is. He needs to know that he has a substance in his body called melanin, okay? And that melanin, like I said, combined with any drug, even down to cannabis. When you mentioned cannabis, you said the brothers in the studio were shaking their head. Even down to cannabis, we need to understand that it has a side effect. It gets us strung out. Yes? Hotep, my brother, I'm going to be going now.
No, brother, enough respect and for input, yeah. And that's what I love for London time when brothers like you call in and you can put your part into, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, enough respect, blood, yeah?
Peace.
Yeah. Okay, London Town, love it, number 09585049068. Also, if there's any brothers and sisters out there who are on drugs, yeah, and you want to call in here, or if you know anybody who's on drugs, yeah, and you want to call in here and shed some light, feel free to do so. Okay? And then we've got another live, we might as well just take this live straight, yeah? Okay. Hello, Genesis Radio? Okay. Anyway, is that okay? Anyway, London Town, you want to say something at Big T, yeah?
Yeah, I just want to ask the brothers them, yeah? Does drugs affect guys different from girls?
I mean, yes, drugs do affect guys different from girls, just purely because of the size of us. You know, guys are usually bigger. The metabolism is, don't know about metabolism, but guys are usually bigger than women, for example, and women contain more fat than men. So, you know, that's all part of it. You know, that's the reason why drugs will affect men differently to women. But then there's also another factor, talking about crack, there's more of an emphasis for a woman to have a crack problem than there is a man to have a crack problem. And the logic behind that is because a woman at the end of the day can go out and earn her money. Where I work in Seven Sisters in Harringay, you know, you walk down the road there and you've got women on the streets selling their bodies. You know, women who do, hand jobs, blow jobs for silly sums of money just so that they can get that rock. You know, it's serious.
Okay, we've got another live link. We'll take this live link, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio. Okay, look out for them. We've got on this little stupid punk phone every minute, yeah? Okay, but you know how it goes, London Town. You know, we touch people. So when we touch them, you know, obviously we get some little lunatics phoning, but we don't give no damn back there. We just keep on rolling still, yeah? So, brother, yeah, we want to go into alcohol now, yeah? We're still dealing with crack and everything. We ain't left that still. Okay, we've got another live link, and we'll check this live link, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio. Okay. Anyway, I'll tell you what, brothers, yeah, out there, yeah. I beg the man them phone in here, because we don't want this little punk to keep on phoning, all right? You getting that one? Okay. Anyway, black spiritual, mental, physical regeneration. You know people's out there trying to disrupt this London Town, you know, when you're getting with something good. The little lunatics have to phone in still, yeah? But anyway, we're going to move on to alcohol, yeah? So, brother, alcohol, is there any ups with alcohol and the downs about alcohol?
I mean, with alcohol, alcohol is a depressant. So, you know, basically it slows everything down in your body. I mean, to be honest, I mean, alcohol isn't really my specialism here. But, you know, the little that I do know about alcohol is that, you know, there's more crime. You know, Friday and Saturday night, the police have more alcohol-related incidents, you know, violent incidents than any other time of the week. You know, if you look at the damage that alcohol does in society, I'm surprised that it's still, you know, that it's still allowed, but it is a legal drug. With alcohol, you know, with some people, you know, like you've now got like the what do you call it, the hooch and the alcopops. I know that's a new thing at the moment. How young people now are drinking hooch and alcopops so that they can, you know, basically be adults. I mean, to be honest, I really don't know much about alcohol, but I'm more of a drugs person.
I don't think I can really say much about alcohol myself. The only thing that I can say is that it is physically addictive. You know, it is a physically addictive drug. Long-term effects or the symptoms of that, you know, people do get the shakes, tremors, stuff like that. Yeah, that as well. And I think that alcohol is a drug that's not really kind of talked about because it's socially acceptable. You know, everybody, a lot of people out there will have some wine during dinner or have a beer in the evening. And it is a subject around alcohol is very much kind of ignored from my perspective.
Okay, Bob, you know when we talk about the crack here, going back to the crack here, we asked you if it's the same as coke and the differences, basically, Can you just give a quick breakdown on coke,
With cocaine, the origins of cocaine, it came originally from South America, and it was used by the Aztec Indians on a spiritual level. So they would chew the coca leaf, and they would try and go for the spiritual high. And basically, the Spanish came over, and they found out that the natives, the Aztec Indians, would work harder, much longer, without any food and drink, and that's how they used to enslave the people of South America, by using cocaine. But as I say, now cocaine is over in this country. You know, as soon as I mention the word cocaine, for a lot of people it conjures up a party drug. You know, this is something that the rich and famous have. It's socially acceptable to go into the toilet and sniff a line of coke, and and misbehave and stuff like that.
Right, Big T. You know when you said the Aztec Indian use cocaine, are you talking about pure cocaine, or are you talking about the cocaine what they're using now?
So the difference, like, years and years or hundreds of years ago, is that, it's going back to us now. It's like, it's about looking at the whole. They used to take the whole plant. So they never used to extract just the active ingredient. They had other ingredients balancing out of what the cocaine was doing. So it wasn't that harmful to ourselves. But now in Western society, we're great at putting everything into compartments, and we just like to know the active ingredient of this and active ingredient of that, and that's what's doing us the harm at the moment.
Okay, brother. Once again, another time, if anybody's out there who can give us a breakdown of alcohol, we'll be truly thankful, phone in, and shed some light on us, Okay, so brother, moving on to heroin now, They say trace the dragon, What is exactly chasing the dragon?
Chasing the dragon is when, like, you get like heroin on like a silver foil, and then they'll get like a lighter underneath, and they'll heat it up, and then the heroin become like liquefied, and all of a sudden, like the smoke will then start to rise, and then what they'll do, they get something like a straw, or like or rolled up something, and then they'll chase the dragon. They'll chase the smoke round as the smoke rises up. So that's what the term chasing the dragon's about. Most drug agencies deal with like heroin users, and the thing is with heroin that if you've got a heroin addiction, you can be given a legal substitute called methadone. Methadone, on the other hand, is more addictive than heroin. A lot of people don't know that, but it's more addictive than heroin, and it's also it's more harsh on the body. It rots your teeth. It's not very good at all for individuals, but it is a legal substitute that you can be given if you've got a heroin problem.
Okay, brother. So, what about the brothers who shoot up in their arms and stuff like that? Yeah, and basically the effects of heroin.
Basically, there's about three ways of taking heroin. Some people, what they do is they'll chase it, so they'll chase the dragon like I mentioned before, or they might like smoke it in a spliff, and the other way then is to inject it. And when you're talking about any drug that you're injecting, you're talking about, you know, it's one of the most dangerous ways of taking drugs. Obviously, you've got like HIV to consider, you've got hepatitis as well, but then also with heroin, there's a lot of adulterants in the actual drug itself. I think a few years ago there was a report done in New York, and they analysed the street heroin in New York, and they found out the street heroin was something like 3% pure. So you only had 3% of heroin in actually what you was given. The rest of stuff that people were being given would be brick dust, ground up glass, rat poison, anything to basically make up more heroin. And this is what people would be injecting into themselves.
Okay, brother. Glue sniffing there, because a lot of kids get involved in that, yeah. And basically, yeah, overall still, what's the age group of people getting into drugs? Is there a specific age group or anything like that?
I think a lot of young people start in their, may well start experimenting in their early teens, maybe 13, 14. But I think research shows between the ages of 14 and 16, many young people will experiment with drugs. When you talk about glue sniffing, I would say there's two types of users that you get. Glue sniffers, you know, you get the young people in the crowd, you know, doing it for fun, experimenting, and then you got the person that uses on their own. The person that uses on their own is basically a person that is trying to get out of the reality that they're in. In our experience with the young people that we've worked with, some of the young people that have been using solvents have had issues. They've been trying to escape from the reality around the abuse that they've actually suffered, and using glue is one way of, you know, getting away from that.
Yeah, as Jib was saying, you know, glue and solvents for young people is it can be a way for them escaping, because it's cheap and it's easily available. I mean, if you look under most kitchen sinks and you look where all the household detergents are, I think, you know, a lot of them can be used as solvents to escape for young people.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. You know, like you got people out there with their kids and everything like that, basically, you know, we're all human beings on the planet, basically, yeah. I mean, like, what advice would you give to somebody as someone in their family taking, I'll tell you what, we'll take this call, yeah, and then we'll get back to my question, yeah? Okay. Right. Hello, Genesis Radio? Well, this better sound like he's definitely on drugs, isn't it? Welcome, sir, we're Bosio. Why are you phoning in? Hey, you want the live number again, blood? 0958 504 906. I'll give him the drugs number, innit? Yeah, you got drugs line number for this brother who keeps phoning this little lunatic. Yeah, okay, we'll take this call here. See if we can, yeah? Alright, go on. You're one stupid punk. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, what advice would you give to the brothers and sisters out there who've got people in their family basically taking drugs, yeah? What can they do?
I mean, as I was saying before, it's about being there for them. It's about offering them support. Very often, when a person's taking drugs and they're really into it, they're not going to listen to what you're saying. They're not going to want to take your advice or anything like that. You know, they'll just think of themselves, just purely about themselves. But I think the key thing to remember is to just be there for them, not to give them like money or anything financially, but to be there in a supportive role. Let them know that, you know, the day that you want to come off drugs is that I'm here to help you. I don't mind ringing up places or going to a drug agency with you, but there to just basically support you.
I think also an important factor is that, you know, when we talk about family members may well say, well, my daughter, my son, or my brother or sister has got a drug problem. I think the important thing to recognise is that the person that we're talking about, do they actually recognise it themselves? And if they don't, then that's an issue in itself. So the only way that you can actually look at taking it forward is to create an environment where you know, that person's going to be feel free to speak to you openly about it, and you're not going to basically judge them first and foremost.
Okay, we've got a call. Understand? We'll take this call here. Okay. Oh my gosh, sabotage for real. Wait, London Town here. You know me already. If I have to let off the live link, you know, I'll turn it off still. Because really, we want to get on with the show. Basically, we really want people to hear the information what's going on. We can't have these little stupid. I don't know what's buzzing them up, mate. Phone them up there and chatting their little silliness. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you want to go into that a bit more, yeah.
Yeah, you know, if there is a lot of families out there that have family members that have got problems with drug use, one of the things that you can actually do for yourself is to also get support for yourself, because it is very painful for family members to see, you know, their loved ones, you know, using drugs and finding problems with drugs. And one of the things that you can do is to phone up your local council, and they will be able to direct you to your local service in your own area.
I mean, as Brother Jib just now said, it's about, there is help out there for brothers and sisters who have got problems with drugs. There is help out there. We can help, but you need to access the services here.
Yeah, Big T. Yeah. I was talking to a guy last week, yeah, and London Town. I just wanted to clear this up for London Town. Can you be an addict? Yeah. Can you become an addict just by smelling like crack or heroin?
Can you be an addict by smelling crack or heroin? In my experience, no. I mean, what I would say about addiction and stuff like that is that, you know, a few years ago the headlines were, you know, take one go at crack and you be an addict for life. Drugs do not work like that. We've all got drugs of our choice. So, for example, if I haven't got much problems and, you know, things are okay for me, I might want to smoke a bit of weed or cannabis. So, you know, cannabis might help me, you know, it might help me chill out, and that would be good enough for me. But then just say I've been abused as a child, or, you know, I was abused by some stepfather or whoever, and I've got some real deep psychological problems. Cannabis ain't going to help me. Cannabis ain't going to help me blot out those feelings of emotion. Cocaine, well, that's going to basically have the opposite effect. I mean, I don't want to be this party person who's got loads of confidence and stuff like that. While heroin, on the other hand, is a depressant. Heroin would kind of block out all my emotions, all my feelings, all my anxieties for how, you know, for a good few hours. So, you know, this thing about smelling it or taking it for once, you know, taking a drug once and you become addicted, it doesn't really work like that, because we've all got drugs of our own choice.
Okay, brother, we want to move on to Ash. Yeah, what's the Ash? Gets better than Ash?
Ash, as I said before, like, you've got three forms of cannabis. You've got the weed, the marijuana, Mary Jane, you know, if it looks like what do you call it, origami. You know, if it looks like the bush type, then that's weed, and that's basically that's one form. The second form is the hash, the Rocky, the Gold Seal, the Lebanese, yeah. And if it looks like a brown oxocube type, then that's hash. And the third type, as I said before, is the oil. The oil is like is pretty rare to get hold of, but that's also quite potent. But the thing is with weed, the difference between like weed and hash is the chemicals called a THC. And what it basically means is with THC, it's if you had THC by itself, it'd be hallucinogenic. You'd actually be able to trip on it. You'd be able to hallucinate. So when you're smoking stuff like skunk, for example, some people can almost some people can almost hallucinate when they smoke skunk. Yet if you're smoking hash is more of a sedative effect. So, as I said before, like if you're smoking hash, you're more likely to sit down and just let the world go by and not do anything, because you just don't want to move, because it's a sedative.
Yeah, just adding to what Dane was saying, yeah, with ash it does have more chemicals that will give you more of a sedative kind of effect, and with, I suppose, weed, it can have more chemicals that can give you kind of a hallucinogenic effect. But going back to what was said earlier from Brother Courtney, a lot of the drugs out there, especially cannabis, is actually being messed about with now. So you can't nowadays, you know, unless you're actually testing all the different types of cannabis that is actually out there, you don't really know what it's actually got in, so it can have different types of effects.
Okay, we're going to take this live link, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio. Okay, go on, nice one, Big T. Rapid on the finger there. Okay, anyway, it's London time. What we want to do now, we're going to move to speed. Speed now, yeah? Causes and effect with speed.
Right, staying here. Generally, when someone takes speed, I mean, speed by itself doesn't give you energy. And that's you know, something I have to say first of all. Speed by itself doesn't give you energy. What it does, it takes energy from your body. It takes energy from your body, and then so basically it takes it from your body, and then you know you have to pay it back later on. So speed itself doesn't give you energy. 1 second here.
We'll take this live link, yeah? Okay. Hello, Genesis Radio. Yo.
Just take your number, man.
Yeah, but, you know, but what it is, it's we got his number still, but he's riding on the anonymous line too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I don't know why you don't switch over to the one them freak station.
You know what I mean?
That phoning into black people station. Take your number there, man, and we start him out.
All right.
Right, peace.
Yeah. Them nice, Jesus. Cut your ears. Okay, nice one there, brother Rons. Anyway, once again, on the time, the Black Spiritual Metaphysical Regeneration Show, talking about drugs, yeah? I know there's bumpers out there in the community who know people who are selling drugs. I know there's bumpers out in the community who actually know people who are taking drugs, yeah? I know there's even parents right now who's got their kids mixed up with drugs or something like that, or whatever, yeah? Feel free to phone in London Town, yeah? And just, you know what I mean, just word up properly, because really, this little idiot's getting time to phone for, and really and truly shouldn't get no time, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, we've got another live link, okay? I'm going to take this live link, yeah? All right, hello, Genesis Radio.
Okay, brother.
Yes, brother.
What's up to the brothers there for the drug services?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say what the brothers have been saying about drugs being a dependency. I feel like it's a deep problem within the black community. I mean, I feel we're suffering from post-traumatic slavery syndrome, and there's a lot of effects that we're carrying out today. And we're using a lot of drugs at the moment. This is why it's a sore subject. I've been listening to the radio, and it doesn't seem like people are phoning in wanting to give any constructive feedback and stuff, apart from a few. It's just like what you were saying. I think that we all know someone is either smoking, selling, or got something to do with drugs, by whatever means it is. You know, it may not be no fault of their own, but they're involved in drugs. That's why it's a sore subject. I think that as black people, we need to recognize that even though drugs may be bringing in money, we need to recognize that it's been used as a strategic plan, you know, because they know that we don't have no money in the community, so they offer it indirectly as a chance for people to make money, to try and believe that they can get out of the ghetto by selling drugs, you know, not understanding that they'd be selling it to their own people and killing them off in the process. It's a very sore subject within the black community, and this is why no one's addressing it at the moment. You know, we need to address it, black people out there in London and worldwide or whatever.
But brother, yeah, it seems like just the silly little idiot boys phoning in and
yeah,
noise.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame that people are abusing the situation at the moment, or the program, you know. But we need to address it. It's something that is very detrimental to us as people. I mean, generations are getting younger now because they turn into drugs because they're not facing or dealing with the problem. We as black people are not dealing with the problem at hand, that we are being oppressed by other forces, you know. and this is your spiritual metaphysics program. I think we need to address these situations to black people. Going back to the caller talking about melanin, we need to address that we are a spiritual people that have a large quantity of melanin sorry.
Yeah, probably just like when we was doing the show on venereal diseases. I mean, people never really want to call in either. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. When it comes to these subjects, they get funny.
Yeah, I can understand what's going on. I feel like I can understand what's going on with our people.
I understand still myself still, brother. But you know,
we need to deal with it. You know,
definitely.
Drugs is something that definitely is being used as a tool. You know, and we need to address it. But the other thing is that when it's like it's a dependency. People turn to dependency when they need to block out stuff. I think the brother Dane was talking about it. They need to, in order to block out issues that's going on in their life, they turn to drugs. Take, for instance, the caller earlier on said about Caucasian people drinking alcohol over evening time. I know you take EastEnders, for example, their life revolves around the drugs. It's because they have a deep inferiority problem why they need a confidence boost every evening. You know, it's this confidence they need to build up within themselves. This is why they turn to alcohol every evening. And it's similar to the black community. We don't want to face up to the reality at hand, and this is why we're dealing with alcohol, cannabis, crack, cocaine, you know, all these drugs that are there at hand. We don't want to face up to the problem. We're like a child that's been abused, and we don't want to acknowledge the abuse that's been done to us. You know, so in order to deal with the situation, we turn to drugs and alcohol and chemical dependency to try and block out or hide away from it. But they don't seem to understand that we can't run from it. It's going to be always there in our face. Drugs, you know, anybody that uses drugs to block out anything, they got to understand that it's a dependence. It's an issue that they need to understand and deal with. Because when they use drugs, it's just going to last for a certain amount of time, and then they're back in the situation where they were in the beginning. You know, and that's what we need to understand as black people, that we need to face the situation at hand.
For real, but brother, I'll tell you, if London Town don't want to phone you still, and that little idiot wants to phone, what I do, I just stop the show basically and just put a tape in, because I ain't really got no time to be wasting, you know what I'm saying, brother, yeah?
Yeah, but you're doing a good job, brother. I think people are listening. This is what we need to understand.
No, I'm not disputing it. I know they're listening, brother, but you know what I mean?
They're listening. It's very hard for them to, it's very hard for them to bring up, to deal with issues, you know? It's like I say, it's like the child that's been abused. It's very hard for them to go and deal with it and say, yeah, well, I've been abused, or someone's abused me as a child or whatever. It's very hard for them to deal with it. But the more your program keeps going out and dealing with these subjects, the more they listen, especially when it touches on raw areas like drugs. People hear what you're saying. Even though they're not talking, they hear what you're saying. As long as the two brothers, Brother Jib and Brother Dane, give out the information, give out the numbers where they can be contacted and deal with the issues at hand. I know the brothers personally, but what I feel they're forgetting to state is that they deal specifically in the black community and address certain needs within the black community. That is at hand. Okay?
Yeah.
Hold that, Brother Dane, Brother Jib.
Yeah.
Peace.
Okay.
Brother Biggie, peace.
Yes, sir. Nice one, brother, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, London Town. What I'm going to do, London Town, I'm going to play some ads here, basically, London Town, and I'll catch you back up on the other side. It's 0958504 And like I said, London Town here, we're here to work, and I know when you're sitting there and listening behind your radios, you're here to work too, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause we're here to educate our people here. And basically, if you don't phone in, and don't want to talk about it or continue, right, I'll just end the show, like I said, and just put a tape in, because I ain't really got no time to pet you lot, yeah? Okay. Anyway, London Town, I'll see the brothers and sisters up on the other side. Peace.
Today's session is the people versus Briggy. Let's go straight down to court 4. Order! Objection! Order! Sustain! Continue.
We got him up on 2 charges, Your Honour. On Wednesday night the 10th, me and PC66 caught Briggy on attempted robbery on Nancy Whitehouse.
Objection!
A 73-year-old war veteran.
And where is Mrs. Whitehouse now?
Well, Your Honour, she's miraculously disappeared, Your Honour.
Disappeared? Order!
Objection!
Thrown out. Sustain. Continue.
Second charge we got him up for, Your Honour. It's a more serious offence. We charge Briggy for misconduct. Also breach of the peace in the black community by teaching hatred on Genesis.
Wait, one moment. What is this, Genesis?
It's a radio station, Your Honor.
Radio station? Bleach of the peace? Teaching hatred? You've left me no choice. Order! 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 Order over there! Shut up! Order! Be quiet! One more outbreak like that, young man, I'll have you in for contempt. Now shut up!
Objection!
The God Squad.
91.6 FM.
Okay, London Town, Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show, Genesis 91.6 and your FM dial. We had a brother called in here, he said he's got a little problem and that, yeah, but I said to him, phone the live link here and speak to everybody wide, yeah. He doesn't have to say his name or anything like that, yeah, but if you've got a problem out there with drugs or anything like that and you want to phone through, feel free to do so, okay? We've got a live link, London Town, yeah. It's anonymous, yeah, but we still take it anyway, yeah? Okay, hello, Genesis Radio? Hello, sis. Okay. Brother Dane?
All right, my name's Dane. Right.
And we'd smoke it down together, do you know what I mean? It was handable. But now he started smoking something like rock or something. I'm not really sure, but I know it's like in a small little foil paper.
Say again, it's small paper?
Yeah, it's in like foil.
Foil paper?
Wrapped up in foil.
Can you describe it? Can you describe it a bit more?
I think it's like white inside.
Right.
Like a rock, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, okay. It's probably crack, yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's been like for a while now he's been on it, and like, emotionally it's really hard, do you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
Like, he'll have his moods where he's just shouting, like, he'd be sitting down and he'd just be up and he'd just be shouting, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, he's like so whatless now, like his teeth are like yellow, because he's like neglected his whole sort of body, do you know what I mean? And there's been times where he's stolen my goods and he's gone out and sold it, do you know what I mean, to get a bit of cash, and he'll say like, I'll bring it back, and do you know what I mean? But he's under denial. Like, I've talked about saying like, we'll go to a counsellor and talk about it, but like, he's just under denial, and I don't really know what's the best thing to do, because he's like one of them stubborn, you know what I mean? He's not having it, you know?
I mean, I think what you're doing there, you're doing the right thing. You know, you're supporting him there.
Yeah, it's really hard. We've got two little kids. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we've got two twins.
Yeah.
And like, it's so hard because like, I love him to the bone. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want us to break up over this, because he was, before I met him, he was beautiful. Well, they all seem beautiful at first. Do you know what I mean? And then you start seeing the real, like the true self of them come out. You know. But like when it comes to discussing like going to counselling, he'll deny it. He'll say like, what are you talking about? Then he starts getting vexed and he don't want to talk. Do you know what I mean? But like, what's the best thing to do with a brother? Do you know what I mean? I'm not talking about going to counselling and sit down. They don't really work for our sort of brothers. Do you know what I mean?
I think in your situation there, I mean, what I would say to you, since I'm speaking to you, there's an important issue of respect here. Yeah. It's like, how much do you value yourself?
Yeah.
And what I mean by this is that if your brother is like stealing from you,
like my boyfriend.
Sorry, your boyfriend stealing from you, lying to you, and all the deceitful stuff.
Yeah.
It's how much do you respect yourself?
Yeah.
And what
I do respect myself. Do you know what I mean? But like, when I first met him, he wasn't like the way he's been going through a lot of stress. Do you know what I mean? He can't get a job. Do you get what I mean? He's got two little twins. Do you know what I mean? And he's I don't know. He just.
But what I'm trying to say here is that the point I'm trying to make here is that you're both in a relationship, and when we take drugs, it's about choice.
Right.
We choose to take drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, have you tried and sat? I mean, you've tried and sat down with him and try and talk to him about how you're feeling and how it's affecting you.
Can I be honest with you? He's always lean up, like totally. It's a fight to get him in the bath.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I've been through stages where I'm like, you've got to get out, you've got to get out, do you know what I mean? But it's a thing like where he's just stubborn, do you know what I mean? And the more I say you've got to get out, like, the more he gets more, like, aggressive, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He's not hitting me, but emotionally, I can only take so much, you know? And, like, it's a thing like where I'm not eating because I'm stressed out and I'm worried about what he's doing. Do you know what I mean?
I think the other thing is that you've got children here as well.
And I'm worried about my kids as well.
And what I would say to you is that you're trying to look after him, but who's looking after you?
Yeah.
And you're then looking after the children. So what I'm saying is that...
I've got the whole baggage, innit?
I mean, you're doing the right thing. You're calling in, you're asking for support here. And, you know, offline we can give you addresses and telephone numbers of agencies that you can talk to about, you know, exactly what you're going through. I mean, sorry, Jib, do you want to speak?
Yeah, hi, this is Jib speaking.
Hi.
I think the main thing for you is basically, you know, for you to be able to kind of offload all your thoughts and feelings, because you're not able to do that with your boyfriend.
Yeah, because you can't help who you fall in love with, do you know what I mean? And, like, it's like getting into the bath isn't a joke. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, and, like, his teeth are, like, rotting out. Like, you can't even go near him. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
like, there's not even kiss or nothing. All that sort of bonding is sort of gone. Do you get what I mean? But man's not looking to leave.
Right. I think most importantly, one of the things that you need to do, as I said, you need to make contact with somebody, because you're trying to deal with this all yourself.
Yeah.
And you haven't got the opportunity to speak to somebody about all of this, and maybe explore some of the stuff. Secondly, maybe try and get some more knowledge for yourself around the drug, how it works on an individual, and maybe to try and understand that a little bit better. And that may well help you in dealing with your situation.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I think you most definitely need to get in contact with somebody, sis, and get some support for yourself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it is a lot of pressure.
It is. Do you know what I mean? It really is.
Yeah, you can. You know, we've got we work in a few agencies. There's one based in Newham that actually does a lot of positive work around crack.
Right.
Yeah, what area do you live in?
Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're both from Harringay. We've got the Drug Advisory Service Harringay. The phone number to that is...
It's 0171 272 2757. That's 0171 272 2757.
Oh, I got that.
And there's the Harringay YAP offices, which is just down White Hart Lane, just around the corner from Tottenham, at the Selby Centre.
I think that black men that talk to them, when he's quite ignorant if he's talking to white people, he starts saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if the black man could get through to him better.
Yeah, in Harringay, we've got a female worker there, African Caribbean female worker that you'll be able to access. Her name is Denise.
Yeah.
Our phone number is 0181 493 9000.
Right.
And we also have some black brothers down there doing some counselling, advice and support work. So we come from, you know, a holistic kind of standpoint.
Yeah.
So we can deal with stuff from a cultural perspective as well.
Right. Okay then. All right then. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
That's okay. Bye.
Okay, London Town. That's what we want to hear. Calls like that coming in here with brothers and sisters who are actually out there, yeah. And like I say, suffering there. You know, you can phone up and reason with us, because we're here for you. So at the end of the day, we deal with drugs. Yeah. We're just here for you, man. Yeah. We've got another live link here. I'm going to take this live link. Yeah. Hello, Genesis Radio. Oh, he's gone. Okay, brother Dane, just want to say something quickly?
Yeah, I just want to say, like the way that me and Jib and our organisations work. You know, the mere fact that we're talking over the airways, and okay, people might not be ringing in, but the way that we operate is that we're planting that seed there. So it might not be now that you...
female worker that you'll be able to access. Her name is Denise.
Yeah.
Our phone number is 0181 493 9000.
Right.
And we also have some black brothers down there doing some counselling, advice and support work. So we come from, you know, a holistic kind of standpoint.
Yeah.
So we can deal with stuff from a cultural perspective as well.
Right. Okay then. All right then. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
That's okay. Bye.
Okay, London Town. That's what we want to hear. Calls like that coming in here. With brothers and sisters who are actually out there, yeah. And like I say, suffering there. You know, you can phone up and reason with us. 'Cause we're here for you. So at the end of the day, we're dealing with drugs. Yeah. We're just here for you, man. Yeah. We've got another live link here. I'm going to take this live link. Yeah. Hello, Genesis Radio. Oh, he's gone. Okay, Brother Dane, just want to say something quickly?
Yeah, I just want to say, like the way that me and Jib and our organisations work, you know, the mere fact that we're talking over the airways and, okay, people might not be ringing in, but the way that we operate is that we're planting that seed there. So it might not be now that you might need help. It might not be 6 months' time, but it might be a year later. But then I'd just like you guys to know that, you know, we're out here and we'll give you telephone numbers if you need help. And, you know, we're also a confidential service, so if you want to talk to somebody in confidence, you know, you can talk to us either here or at our workplaces, and we'll give telephone numbers as we go along through the evening.
Okay, we're going to take this call here, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio?
Hello, evening.
Yes, sir. What's your name? Where you calling from, brother? Hello?
Yeah.
What's your name? Where you calling from, brother?
My name's Sean.
Okay.
From London.
Okay, nice one. Yeah. What's the
this
question?
Is just in response to the sister calling in just a minute ago.
Yeah, go on.
About the brother not wanting to go in and speak to white people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the problem that we're having in the black community. That black drug users are not going out there to receive help, not going out to ask for help because in fear of being judged, you know, one being judged for being black and then one being judged for being taking jobs by presumably a white middle class worker, you know. For the sister there, she's saying that doesn't work. Counselling, that doesn't work. Counselling works for everybody. You know, what we've got to understand is that what has been being used before hasn't been working. But counselling being dealt with from an Afrocentric perspective, a holistic perspective, is now dealing with the issues of black people. You know, dealing with them from their own culture, dealing with them from their standpoint and what they're going through within their society as a person of colour, receiving under the oppression of racism and prejudice and discrimination and stuff like that. The black brothers out there are being emasculated out there in this society because this is a white dominated society, and we need to understand that. The black males that are being targeted out there are being emasculated, so they turn to drugs for a way out. For the sister, counselling helps from a perspective, helps people of colour. We need to understand that. They need to do somebody that looks like them and speaks like them, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they need somebody that can give them a perspective from their standpoint, not from a Caucasian standpoint. That's what we need to understand. We can't go to the enemy to ask for help. We can't go to the enemy to ask for freedom. We've got to take our freedom. We've got to go to people that we can, we've got to go to people that are of our own, that we can help ourselves, people that look like us. That is what's working for us now, and that's what we need to understand. The counselling is working. The therapy is working. The holistic perspective, holistic meaning, the holistic meaning taking or dealing with an individual from the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual standpoint. Those are what all incorporate into a human being, and that's what we need to understand. So, for the sister there, get them to a black agency, get them to somewhere where there's black workers there dealing with it from a holistic perspective, a person of their culture. Okay?
Okay, nice one, brother, yeah. Enough respect to what you're saying there, yeah? Okay, yeah. Also, you just heard what the brother just said there, London Town, yeah? And I know that there's brothers and sisters out there in the community working alongside brothers and sisters there on drugs and stuff like that, yeah? Phone in and also leave your telephone number and everything like that, yeah? Okay. Anyway, so brothers, yeah, we just want to move straight on to basically what you can offer anybody basically coming in to see you, yeah? Okay, start with Brother Dane first, yeah?
All right there. As a worker for Dash, when someone basically, I mean, I'll tell you basically what happens once you come into our agency. We have a drop-in every, we're at Stroud Green Road, 80 Stroud Green Road, and we have a drop-in every Tuesday, Thursday, and Monday as well, from 2 to 4:30 p.m. and on Wednesday evenings we have a drop-in from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. As I said before, the service that we offer is a free and confidential service. So you know we don't get in touch with the DHSS or the police or Social Security or anyone like that. Once you come into our system, all the information is kept in our organisation. On Mondays we offer legal advice. So if you have any issues to do with drugs and the law, basically, you can come in and we have a solicitor from Release who can offer you free legal advice around issues of drugs. On Tuesday we do complementary therapies. Tuesdays and Thursdays, complementary therapies. And when I say complementary therapies, what I mean by that is acupuncture and shiatsu. Acupuncture is where they put pins in your ears, and some people are thinking, my God, pins, but yes, pins in your ears. And what that's supposed to be doing is balancing back up your body. So like, if someone's on drugs for a long time, their body's out of sync. So they probably haven't eaten for a long time, or they haven't slept for a long time. Oh, one second, take a call.
Okay, we're going to take the call when we get back to the brother, yeah? Okay. Hello, Genesis Radio?
Hello, Briggy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's happening, Rance?
Yeah, this brother, you know, I listened carefully what the last caller called. Right. When, as this brother who was speaking just now, he said that they got to drop in certain days, right? When you drop in, who look after these addicts then? Is it a black person counseling these drug addicts then?
Right, I mean, we won't use the term drug addicts, we'll say drug users, right?
But listen, brother. Addict and users, you could define it in the same content.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what happens.
Don't patronize the addicts. Just the addicts or users, anyone you want to define.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll tell you what happens once you come into our agency. Yeah, our agency has got a mixture of white and black workers there. Yeah, so if someone was to come in, they might actually see a white person, but that would be for the initial assessment.
But hold on, little brother. But this is the same thing the last caller was trying to elaborate on. A black users, you explained just now to me. I call them addict. We prefer to speak to a black person.
Right, and what I'm saying to you, first of all, when we see someone, we need to do an initial assessment. We actually need to see what is wrong, what exactly does that person need.
Yeah, but before that person, before you see what he needs, you don't think he's supposed to see one of his own color first? You feel more relaxed, more safe, more...
Listen, brother, exactly what you're saying, I would agree with you 110%. I would agree with you 110%. But let's be realistic here, yeah? The reality is that there is more white drug workers than there is black drug workers, yeah? And it's nothing to do with me, yeah? I'm a brother who's in the system, who's trying to make things better for my black community. So let me explain let me explain how we operate, yeah? Is that someone will come in and they'll have an initial assessment. So it might be done by a black person, a white person, whoever, yeah? So we find out what is the issue for them. Then it will be brought to a client meeting where all the workers, and me included, who will sit there and will hear what issues people will have. Then, yeah, we then assign the clients to key workers, yeah? And I'll tell you from the heart here, every time I hear a black person coming into our organisation, I want to take them. Yeah, I want to take them because I know I can offer them what they need. Does that answer your question?
In a way. How you come to know about all these drugs, brother, as you were defining all the time, early on?
How do I... Well, for myself, I've had very limited actual drug experience as far as, I've never had a drug problem as such, yeah? But a lot
drugs of... Drugs have no problem, it's you have the problem.
Well, if that's your belief, then that's okay, sir. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, this is another thing, is people's attitudes we need to be looking at. Because where drugs are concerned, sometimes in the black community we've got this thing like, excuse my French, our shit don't stink type thing,
Mm-hmm.
We need to be honest with ourselves, yeah? We need to be open with one another, yeah?
But this is the same that was explained to you early on, but it's blessed when a brother comes, you see another brother. You feel more relaxed, more confident in his, his whole situation, as the last brother was saying.
And ideally, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing, but we have to remember, at the end of the day, right, black people are the minority of this country. Yeah, we are the minority, and unfortunately, there is more white drug workers than there is black drug workers. And the other thing is, when black drug workers are working for predominantly white organisations, yeah, so what can sometimes happen is that all black clients are being dumped onto that one black drug worker. So that black drug worker can then feel burnout and that type of stuff, and that's not helping him.
Right. Let me get off of this program a bit. Who do you think bring all these drugs in the country?
That is a really, really good question. I mean, that's a question that I have to ask myself constantly. As we said before, you know, the brothers, you know, some people who are bringing a small amount of like crack or weed into the country, that isn't, you know, that's hardly anything. We have to be looking at the governments. We have to be looking at people very, very, very high up, the so-called untouchable people. You know, for me, those are people who...
Hold on, brother. Don't get carried away. Such as the police. Let's end it too.
The police...
Because one got 10 year or 8 year about 6 weeks ago, isn't it?
Well, I don't know that court case, but what I'm saying is that in any society or any organisation, you're always going to have some people who are going to use and abuse the whole system. Do you know what I mean? So yes, there is corrupt police officers out there. Yeah, I'm agreeing with what you're saying, and we do need to be looking at these issues. Anything else, sir?
Yeah, runs.
Yeah.
Just like a question I throw out to London Tanya. What do you reckon should happen to these brothers who are selling crack to their own? What do you reckon we should do as the black community? What would your advice be as an older Ed?
Boy.
That's the $1 million question still, yeah?
Yeah, this is a question for another time, bro.
yeah. Okay.
All right?
Yeah, all right, Runs, yeah.
Yeah, peace.
I hold it down, buddy, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, brother. Andy Morrison wants to say something quick, then I'm going to pass this brother to you, yeah? Okay, quick question.
Yeah, it's Andy Morris. This may or may not throw a box spanner into the works, so to speak. You've mentioned about information not being disseminated to the police or the social services or the council. Who funds your organisation?
Right. Now, I'm from the Harringay National NHS Trust. So technically, yes, we are funded by the government. But you know, I've had this question put to me so many times about who we're funded by. At the end of the day, you know, I'm in this job because I actually want to do something with the black community. I'm not here to give information to social services or anyone else about who's coming in and stuff like that. You know, I wouldn't be in that position to do it.
Yeah, this is Brother Jib. The organisation that I work for is a voluntary organisation. We rely on funding from maybe local authority and health authority. At the moment, we're funded by the health authority in Harringay and Enfield. I just want to address a couple of issues around the employment of black workers in the drugs field. The YAP project and the RAW project that is based in Newham, London, look at recruiting people and training people up to maybe look at going into this field of work. If there's any brothers or sisters out there that are interested in helping their own community around the issues of drugs, there's a couple of numbers that you can phone and get involved in the community work that we're actually doing. The Harringay number is 0181 493 9000. The Newham number for RAW is 0171 474 2222.
Also, brother, we can't forget also, about the household drugs. Things like Lemsip. I know a lot of the time I think, I'm getting a bit crazy here, but there's people actually addicted to Lemsip, headache tablets and stuff like that, yeah. What does the brother say about that?
Well, you know, some of the worst drugs that people are being addicted to are prescribed drugs. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you go to the GP and the GP's giving them like Smarties. I mean, that was the case. Like tranquilizers and benzodiazepines, they were being given out like Smarties. But more GPs are now aware of the consequences of giving out drugs.
Okay, we've got a live link. We're going to take this live link, yeah? All right, hello, Rons.
Briggy.
Yes, sir.
Brother Andy asked this brother, but who fund the organization? Could you elaborate more strong? Don't run from the point that brother Andy just asked. Could you explain yourself more, you know? Because you only say, well, being funded by blah, blah, and you just skip the question. But if you could tell the London...
Do you think I'll make a good politician then?
No, but listen, when you come to the Black Power Station, you ain't come to be a politician. You just come to explain to your people, right? And Brother Andy asks you a question. You could be a wolf in sheep clothing.
Oh.
Right? So don't jump from the point that Brother Andy asks. Just get into it more, please. All right, brother?
Yes, I hear that. I hear what you just now said there. And,
yeah, because, I mean, hey, Brother Andy, he asks you that who you get your pay packet from. Understand? Probably they're setting you up to, to inform from the black community. So they're asking you, when these brothers go in there, as you say, users, right? Why they don't see a black person with a more relaxed? You see? Because I think when you come to the Black Power Station, you come with steam in there, you know, brother. Steam.
This is Brother Jib speaking. Just trying to address the issue around brothers having the choice to see black drug workers. There is very few workers in the drugs field, but I think, you know, if there's brothers and sisters out there that are actually accessing services, that they should make it clear.
What do you mean few drug workers? What do you mean few black drug workers or what, man?
Yeah, just let me come back to what I was saying. There is very few black drug workers in the field, but if there is brothers and sisters out there that actually want to go to a drug service, then they should themselves ask to be seen by a black worker. They've got a choice, you know, and it's also the clients out there that can make a difference.
Yeah, but you should elaborate on that earlier on too. Give the users them more confident to come and see you.
Very much so, and I think with a lot of the work that YAP is doing in Harringay, the people that we recruit, over 60% of our volunteers are from the African Caribbean community.
But that word African Caribbean, I can't come to terms with that. Please don't use it.
Okay, bruv. Can you recommend a term that is more suitable for you then?
Black community, yeah. The African community, African Caribbean. I have a problem with that word, you know.
So Africans, all right then, yeah?
Well, yeah, you know, I wouldn't even accept that, you know. But is that here or there? Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, as I was saying.
Certain words I have a problem with, brother. African Caribbean society, democracy, and those things. You know.
That's fine, bro. If there's any words that I use that you're not happy with, just, you know, pull me up and.
I'm not no university graduate, brother. So I only certain thing I could pull you up with.
All right, Ron's nice one, blood, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, nice one, blood. Yeah. Okay, London town, yeah. Still, like the brother said, there's not much black brothers and sisters out there who are working, and if they are out there, I reckon that you lot should be phoning in anyway. Still, you know what I'm saying? Because like we've got our problems here, and it's like at the end of the day, white people have to look after our business. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't look after our own business. What happened to us? And then we're talking about we want to do this and free this and the black man this and black man that. Chat. Certain things just get on my nerves right now, I believe. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, young, I'm gonna make the brother to continue speaking anyway, yeah.
Yeah, just a message to all you brothers and sisters out there that are either in education, going uni, or are in the professional field, or are looking at going into the professional social field. The area of drugs is a big area. I'd certainly like you to think about considering it, because we need more brothers and sisters in the field.
Okay, we've got a live link. We'll take this live link, yeah. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Mate, I called to the brothers, please.
Okay, go on, brother.
The two people there in the studio, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you experienced drugs in any way?
What, the brothers in the studio, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Chip speaking. Yeah, I was brought up in the East End of London, in Canning Town, and yeah, when I was growing up, I experienced a lot of the similar problems that a lot of young people are facing now. And yeah, I dabbled in all sorts of drugs. You see other people doing it. I got involved in the same thing, but I suppose I was lucky. I actually got myself out at the right time, and the reason why I was able to do that is because of certain programs that actually existed in my own area. I was one of the fortunate ones, yeah. But I have dabbled in quite a few drugs.
What about your Cody?
With me, as I said before, I mean, the first time I took drugs, cannabis, was when I was 21 years old. That was because, like, an ex-girlfriend I haven't really dabbled.
In any other form of drug?
Sorry?
In any other form of drug? Nothing?
I haven't really had a problem with drugs. That's what I'll say. I haven't had a problem. So I've dabbled in, tried a little bit of cocaine, tried knee, but I haven't really had a problem with drugs. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Right, so I take it that, obviously for the job that you're in, you've done obviously a lot of research on, you know, certain aspects of the various of drugs.
I think where I'm coming from is like, because we have a holistic approach. Yeah, when I say holistic, we look at the whole person. We have to look at the economics, the social side, and everything. To me, it doesn't matter what drug anyone's taking. They could be taking any drug. I can work with them because we come from a holistic approach.
Yes, I understand that.
I just want to add to what Brother Dane was saying. When we actually look at helping users or addicts, whatever term people want to use, as Dane was saying, we look at the social well-being of that person. You know, what's actually going on in their social life. We look at the well-being of their health, whether it be mental, physical, or spiritual. And also we look at crime as well. If somebody's been using for many, many years and has been unemployed for many, many years, that's a hard pattern to break. So we've got to look at, you know, if a person's actually interested in a certain area of work, if they've got any certain strengths that they can actually build on, we might well focus on education. It's about looking at the issue from a holistic standpoint for the person.
Yeah, but don't you think that, you know, for the people who, for the people that are, you know, sort of struggling, don't you think it's hard for them even? I mean, I know other callers have already said that, you know, people need to, it's hard for an individual to sort of, how can I say it? It's hard for people to come to terms or come up to someone with confidence to come to an agency as where you are and sort of offload their sort of terms of, you know, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, you're very much right. I think a lot of people actually have got that problem of taking that first step. You know, whether that's a male thing for men, or whether it's an issue around them worrying about that information being filtered out to other people. The only way that we can look at dealing with that is to look at advertisement, look at how we advertise to the community.
Yeah, but you know, but in saying that, if a person comes to you and you're sort of explaining in all the way possible, it's still going to be hard for that person even to sort of confide in you, even though you are a black man, or regardless what sort of colour you are.
Yeah, you're right. I think, you know, when I actually get clients coming through, my first thing to do is to kind of break down, you know, what we can offer, find out what the person actually wants, and the first stage for me is to build up get to know the person, make the person feel at ease, you know. That's my first aim. That's the first thing that I've got to do before I even consider anything else. So it may well take me 2 or 3 weeks to actually get that person to feel relaxed and get them to know where I'm actually coming from. And let them know that I'm on the level, and I ain't there to be judging them, and I ain't there to be telling them anything either. You know, that's the first step for me. And that's, you know, after that, then we can then start focusing on issues that are relevant to the client.
Yeah. Okay then. Cheers.
Okay, bro. Please.
Okay, London Time, Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show. We have our brother Dane, okay, from DASH, that's Drugs Army Service for Harringay, okay. Also, brother Jib from Youth Awareness Program, okay. Lovely number, London Time, 0958504906. And like I said before, yeah, I know there's brothers out there in the communities on drugs, or we've got family or something like that, yeah. I beg you to phone up here. And there's other brothers and sisters out there in the community who must be helping brothers and sisters out there with drugs. I beg you to phone up too, yeah? Okay? All right. Anyway, so brother Dane, yeah, you were saying you was going through your services, what you can offer the black community still.
Yeah, as I was saying about, we offer complementary therapies, and what I mean by complementary therapies is like we offer acupuncture and shiatsu. Acupuncture is where we put pins in different parts of your ears, and what it basically does is to balance back up your body again, balance back up your energy. Because for a lot of people, when they're taking drugs, they either suffer from lack of sleep or not eating properly. And when you come in for acupuncture, it's a time for you to chill out and just basically get your body balanced back up again. And for a lot of our clients, they do say that acupuncture does work for them, even if it's just for an hour, just so that they can relax and just chill out. The other service that we offer is shiatsu, and shiatsu is like a Japanese massage. It's fully clothed, and someone will like give you a massage over an hour where they massage all your different meridian lines and different parts of your body. Again, it's all free, it's all confidential, and if you're a drug user, it's totally free to you. You know, you don't have to go down the street and pay like £30, like, you know, the business people are paying. It's absolutely free to anyone who's a drug user and in the Harringay area. We also offer welfare benefits advice. So if you've got a problem with the DHSS or the dole or whatever, anything to do with benefits, we've got a welfare advice worker in on Thursday afternoons. I mean, basically, the service that we're offering is a free and confidential service. And like, we've got a book here. You don't have to be a Harringay resident. If you're in any other part of London, you can ring up and we can give you the nearest address of a drug agency near to you, and we can just give you information, whatever you need, we can give to you here tonight.
Yeah, it's Brother Jim speaking. I just wanted to say that even though, you know, people out there, brothers and sisters out there, if you go to a service and that service is not going to be catering for your needs, you can ask that service to then refer you to another service, maybe in a neighbouring borough, that would actually deal with your needs, and the local authority or health authority will actually pick up the tab for that.
As far as Jib was saying, it's your entitlement. If you've got a drugs problem, and you can prove that you're living in whatever borough it is, whether it's Hackney, Harringay, whatever, you are entitled to have a free drug service. So, you know, we can send you away to rehabs or places where they can detoxify you. And if you're not working and you're unemployed, this is all free to everybody. So I must stress that it is free and you can have it done. It's your entitlement.
Okay, brother. So as the brothers then basically had any clients that successfully went through any of the programs?
I mean, with myself, yes, I'd have to say yes to that. When working, I mean, I've worked with quite a few crack users, and thing is with crack users is that a lot of them want immediate service. They're into instant gratification. They want something. They want it now. And what we're trying to do is to offer them ways of coping. So, for example, it's looking at ways of coping with certain situations. So, if you're taking crack, for example, and this smell comes across, this nice sweet smell, and your first immediate reaction is to go out and lick a pipe, it's about having ways of coping with those feelings and emotions. It may be to get out a piece of paper and see all your positive things about you, or it might be, you know, picking up a telephone and speaking to someone that you can trust. You know, it's about having ways of coping with having a coping strategy.
Okay, London Town. Anyway, I think right now I'm going to be calling this show to close end here. Okay, and Andy Morris wants to ask a quick question still. But what is London Town out there? I mean, we say that, yeah, we're a black community, and we say we want to unite, and we say all these kind of things, yeah? And when it comes to subjects like drugs and venereal diseases and the things like that, yeah, it's like we ain't got nothing to say. I can't believe that we're talking to millions of people here and none of you ain't got nothing to say. Or nobody out there in the black community can't phone up here and say blah, 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 blah about this, that, and ever about venereal disease or, not venereal disease, about the drug situation. I can't believe it. Okay, the phone's ringing, the callers must have just jumped off, I don't know why, yeah. But you can call back again, 0958 504 906, yeah. Andy Morris, you want to quickly say something, yeah?
Brief question, and it applies to a client I had come into our offices in Brixton on a legal matter. He's actually in prison, and he had a urine test. And what I need to know, and if you can't answer it now, then I'm more than happy to come and contact your agency at some stage. Is there, and I'm ignorant to drugs, is there an opiate content within candle oil sweetener?
Okay. I'm going to take this call on the town. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Hello, I'm hearing you complain about the amount of people that are listening and not calling in, so I thought I'd call in.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I smoke, and I've smoked since I've been about 15, about, 15 years. It's been on and off.
Smoke what, sis?
Cannabis.
Okay, go on, sis.
I've never tried anything else, don't want to. You can see sort of the real devastating effects that it has on people. Basically, when I started, everyone made it seem like it was acceptable that you do it as a matter of course in the black community. It was easy. You can get easy, it's all around, people are selling it, people are just like getting it every day. If you haven't got any, you're always looking around the corner where you can get it the next time. And yeah, I do agree with most of the other callers and what you've been saying, that we do need to address the situation and get underneath it. Me personally, I'm looking at giving up. I can see the damage that it does to us. I've slowed down a lot, but you are dependent. And a lot of people don't admit it. They think that
They can't be addicted to it.
nah, yeah, you're not addicted. Oh, I can give it up any time,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
all that kind of stuff. And I've kind of come to a stage where I've admitted to a few close people around me that, yeah, I smoke a lot more than what I admit to, and I want to give up. And I'm enrolling them in my program to kind of give up in the next couple of months. I think a lot more people need to maybe like get together and say, all right then, this thing is out of hand. We need to find other ways to make our money and not like concentrating how to ship it across and like how to get it over here and amongst ourselves and like damage ourselves really.
All right, sis, yeah, what would you say should happen to people who sell drugs and killing off their own people in the community?
I think they need to be educated to what they're really doing, because the more we're just cursing them and the more it's available for them to go out there and get it across here and make it a money market. You've got to deal with, I think we need to deal with like the grassroots level, the demand end.
Yeah, for real.
Right, once you kind of like deal with the demand end, you can start cutting down on supply because people won't want it. We found other avenues to like expand our minds and not just say, oh yeah, we're going to smoke a spliff and sit down and meditate on this and have a real good discussion, because I find that the times that I don't smoke, I can actually have good conversation and my mind is freer to sort of want to do things.
Okay, so you know that when you feel a yearning for the weed, yeah, what kind of feelings do you go through?
What kind of feelings?
Yeah, I mean, why do you feel? You know that when your body says, yeah, I need some weed or whatever. How does it kind of hit you, kind of thing?
It's more like, you see the bag kind of got one little corner of dust in there and you think, I need to fill it up, you know. It's more like, just got to have it, that security that even though you might not smoke right now, you know that you haven't got to kind of like be running around looking for it when you do want one.
Yeah. Okay, sis, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
And keep up the good work, you know, all right? And don't just shut off the show just like that. People are listening and just encourage them to call in, really.
For real, sis.
All right.
All right, enough respect, yeah?
All right, bye.
Okay. Then the brother's comment on what this just said there?
I just wanted just to talk about some of the other work that's being done.
Okay, we've got another live link another time. We're going to take this live link, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio.
We love the weed. We're going to continue smoking the weed. And there's no way you're going to do anything about it.
Okay, that's your opinion, brother, yeah? Enough respect, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I'm Briggy.
Go on, bud.
You're a punk.
So are you, blood, yeah? Okay. Anyway, as we move on, yeah? Brother, what you saying before, yeah?
This is Jib speaking. I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the work that's being done in Harringay, in the schools. A lot of the work that we're actually doing is also prevention-based work. As I said earlier, a lot of young people start at a certain age. What we're actually doing is we're doing a lot of constructive work within schools and helping young people that may well be well on their way down the road of getting involved in crime or maybe experimenting with drugs. So we do a lot of prevention-based work. So it's not just about looking at intervening at different stages. We're also looking at work that will prevent young people going into the cycle.
Okay, we've got another live call. Don't tell me to take this call, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio.
Evening.
Yo.
This is Leah in Nature Road.
Yeah, go on, blood.
No, I was wondering, is cannabis addictive?
Say it again, please, bro.
Is cannabis addictive?
Right.
How I'd say, I mean, basically, yes, I would say, yes, it can be addictive for some people, yes.
Some, but I don't smoke, but I'll say the majority of people I know that smoke this stuff is only for taste, just for, just chill out. They're not addicted. If anything, it's a habit. I would say very rarely anybody's addicted to cannabis. Because that's been available to man for thousands of years.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a natural herb. And even Europeans use it in their drugs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's even Coca-Cola.
I think the thing to remember is that whenever we think about addiction and withdrawing, we always think of this heroin user who's cold turkey, who's sweating, who's got diarrhea, and
yeah.
that's a real severe form.
Yeah.
Like the sister who rang in earlier on, people withdraw from cannabis and they don't even realise that they're withdrawing. They're irritable, can't sleep, mood swings. I mean, this is all part of withdrawing from a drug.
Also, when people wake up in the
morning, that's probably how they are. In a way, without it. Remember, they take that to cool them down. Because maybe they're anyway.
Sorry, you're breaking up. Say it again, please.
Maybe they're using cannabis to help them chill out anyway. Maybe they're to help them out because it's a pacifying, isn't it?
It is pacifying, but what I'm saying is what, as I said before, you can be addicted to chocolate, you can be addicted to sex, you can be addicted to TV, but cannabis you can't be addicted to.
No, also it's a habit. TV is a habit. Streets are a habit.
Right, you're saying that it's a habit. When we're talking about it being a habit, if you can't stop something, is that not an addiction?
Okay, well, I'll say I'm addicted to sweets. Okay then.
You're addicted to, people could be addicted to sweets, yeah. And I think one of the other things, when we look at withdrawals and stuff like that, people suffer from insomnia from smoking cannabis. I've known people that have travelled from East London all the way down to South London just to get a draw, or get a puff.
They've got a problem.
Yeah, people do it because they cannot sleep overnight. They're ratty, they're irritable when they wake up in the morning, they're snapping, they're arguing with people, and that's what to do with the mood swings.
I'll say that's a minority of the people that actually use it.
Sorry?
That's a minority of the people that actually use it.
Yeah, some people use the word that you just used. Some people use the drug and some people abuse the drug.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll say the majority just use it because that's been available for. I mean, the only reason I would say that cannabis is illegal is because anyone can grow it in their garden. The government cannot control it.
I think what you said there, brother, is absolutely right.
They can't control it. That's why it's illegal.
Exactly. I mean, me personally, I personally don't think that cannabis will ever be legalised. That's my own personal opinion. I don't think it'll ever be legalised, purely because of what you just now said there. The government cannot make money if everyone's growing it in the back garden.
Exactly. They can't tax it. If people are able to grow tobacco in their gardens, that would be illegal. Isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, if you could grow tobacco for yourself, they'll say, oh no, I can't have that now. No, I can't tax that out the window.
I think the example I want to give you is, like, for a lot of people, let's just say we're going to have a wedding, yeah? If someone's going to have a wedding, where would they go to get their booze?
Off license, isn't it? Cash and carry.
Some people would go to cash and carry, and some people might even get a minibus and go all the way over to France to get their alcohol, to get their booze. So the British government, again, isn't getting any money out from it. So, what you're saying, brother, I absolutely agree with you. About legalisation of cannabis, I don't see it personally ever happening. Does that answer your question, mate?
Yeah, it's cool, yeah. Thanks anyway.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Yo, OG Briggy's in the house. And guess what? Playtime is definitely over. Frankie Paul says so. Yo, here?
At the time, we've got another live, yeah? Alright. Genesis Radio?
This is Terry. I'm sort of like driving about at the moment, so I thought I'd give the program a call because we're discussing stuff there.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, my view on the whole drugs situation is that it is a matter of economics, isn't it, really? Because it's like the government makes certain substances what people use in general illegal, so that means it creates what they want to term like open quote black economy, close quote. I'm using the term black economy kind of loosely, just as still.
But that's basically what's happening. It's like if all of a sudden the government made sweet sugar illegal, right? Basically, you just have that being put on this black market as well, and people pay exorbitant prices for it. You know, basically. So it's like they catch into all of this. It's like a circle they're catching the whole of our community into. Like when they make cannabis illegal, it's basically you're just catching us all into this little trap because they know so well. Then people use cannabis. You know, I for one feel said we can't be wasting time about this dealing with drug problem, because the problem has been created by the ones who are in power to make this thing illegal.
But still, a lot of people use cannabis like still to relax themselves still. You know what I mean? To be quite honest, bad, I told London Town straight myself, but no one's asked me still. I smoke cannabis myself.
Well, to me, that's basically what my view. It's all about economics. And the man them just make this thing illegal just to catch people into a trap. I feel that the way to deal with this so-called drugs problem is to make all drugs legalize all substances. Then, in effect, basically, I think so the attraction that people might go and even use drugs, that would even fall away. And then the price, which is sort of like making people go out there and steal just to buy it, it wouldn't be happening. It wouldn't be happening. You wouldn't have people going out there selling it because you won't make money on it, because you can get it anywhere. I just feel that the whole idea, basically you should have the legalization of all these so-called drugs. Because, I mean, I might call cannabis drug. How can you call a plant a drug? You go into the dictionary and you try to find out the meaning of the word drug. You say it's an addictive substance. Well, every substance that's on the earth is addictive. You got some people who just want to use that substance more than anything else.
True, blood. Still, anyway, like I say, blood, right, the show is about drugs, yeah, and addictiveness, yeah. It's not personally about anybody's personal, you know, like anybody's business and whatever, because there's some people, there's a brother that phone up the station and called me a punk for some reason every year. I don't know why. You know what I mean? But
I heard them, man. But the man did not really contribute nothing positive to the argument still, you know?
They're stupid still, right? But still, my brother, at the end of the day, we're just trying to, all I'm trying to do, brother, is put it out in the open. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, we know who created the problem still. The people in power who make these things illegal, so it create this underclass market.
Blood, the burden's on us. I'll tell you something, blood, right? See, when I was a youth, yeah, blood, right, at school and stuff, yeah, I used to see other boys and all that smoking cigarette, yeah, and as far as I was concerned, to me, that kind of influenced me to say, well, yeah, if I smoke a cigarette, yeah, I'm going to be just like them. And I'll tell you something, blood, yeah, my first cigarette that I smoked, blood, right, is like, I took the puff of it and it's like it was just killing me off. The first 5 cigarettes I smoked, 6, could be even 20 of them. It was just like, I was killing myself to smoke it, and then it's like I made myself immune to it, and then from there, I just went into weed. You see what I'm saying, brother?
Yeah, well, I can understand that. I've been along that road there still, you know? I mean, I've been along that.
There's lots of, see me, I'm willing to admit it, because to me, I need that, you know what I'm saying, bud? Because this is a revolution we're talking about. Drug and drug addicted. Even me myself, I have to say to myself, boy, I have to be truthful with myself. I believe I'm addicted to smoking weed myself personally. You know what I mean? If I could put it down tomorrow, I would do it.
Well, it's just a matter of, to me, self-control. Still, really and truly, because I used to be what you call a ganja baby. It's just a matter of you looking for yourself and say, every time, deal with it on a one-to-one basis. Every time I might offer you a split, you just say no. If you don't want to smoke, you just say no. Every time you just see that split coming your way, you just tell yourself no. Or the cigarette coming your way, you just say no. And then you can deal with it. You know, it's just a matter of everybody developing that that willpower. I mean, you are in control of yourself.
Yeah, for real. But blood, I'm just trying to make London Town know that I ain't no perfect person. You know what I'm saying? I'm suffering from all the other worldly diseases and stuff like that, like what everybody else can suffer from. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm here in this position here doesn't mean that I'm special or better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? And if it takes me to say, yeah, I smoke weed to make people phone in and feel a bit more relaxed, rude boy, so be it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's the only way we can get to discuss this thing openly. Everybody has to just admit to who they are and what they are.
That's right.
You get me? And then we can deal with and then you can actually deal with what you are. But if you're saying you are not that, then you can't deal with it because you're just saying basically you are not that.
Yeah, and brother, yeah, just like the sister earlier before when she found it, she was mentioning about certain times when she got weed around. Sometimes for me it's like that as well, because sometimes when I ain't got no weed around, it's like my mind saying to me, yeah, you need some weed now, kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it hasn't got me up blood in a sense where I'm tripping, I don't know what I'm saying, obviously, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But I still see people who are affected worse still, and I know people who are on crack, hardcore drugs, lots of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying, brother? But like I say, True London Town never asked me personally about myself, then obviously I'm not saying anything, but if they ask me about me, I can tell you whatever they need to know, basically, you know what I'm saying? I got nothing to hold back.
I get you, Briggy, man. I get you. You gotta do your work still. You can't, well, if a man want to get personal with you, a man can get personal with you, but then that is up to you to still, you know what I mean? Don't let the man they throw you off yard still, you know?
But no man can't phase me, you know, blood. I don't care what they're saying, because look, I've been in this business long time now. This is becoming my 6 years doing black educational program. You know what I'm saying, bro? So none of them men can't phase me. To be quite honest, I got white enemies more serious than my own little idiot black brothers who want to find out and try and have me up. You know what I'm saying? I got more problems to worry about than them little silly brothers. But still anyway, brother, yeah? Black Spiritual Metaphysical Regeneration Show. Me now. Yeah? What are you going to say to me now? Okay. Yeah. All right, then. All right, we've got a live link. We'll take this live link, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio.
Hello.
Hello, sis.
Hi.
Hi.
All I wanted to ask the brothers in the studio was about the training that you have to go through.
Okay. What, sis, are you a weed smoker as well, or you don't really deal with no drugs?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, enough respect, sis. All right, brothers, do you want to do that?
Yeah, hi, this is Jib speaking.
Hi.
We've got two training programs. One is basically targeted around working with young people.
Mhm.
And the other one that we have is more kind of Black and Asian Pacific, which is called the Raw Service. And that's about looking at training and educating people to then take their knowledge and do some voluntary work and help us to target our own communities. And that work is sometimes done on an outreach basis, or some of it can be education based. And I think the program is done in modules, in at least 3 different modules, it does cover more or less everything. It covers addiction, it covers culture, it covers the various different drugs, their effects, long-term, short-term, and it is quite a compact course. And you're also given the opportunity to put your knowledge, knowledge and skills that you gain into practice for doing some practical work.
Right. And how long does the training go on for?
The one that we're doing in Harringay at the moment, it's let's have a look, how many weeks? We've got it in 3 modules, and I think there's something like, I think there's about 10 sessions in each module. And the one that they do in Newham with the Raw Service, which is more Black and Asian Pacific, I think that's over a period of maybe 12 to 18 weeks, something like that.
Okay then. Thank you very much. I'm enjoying the show and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right then. Bye.
I'm Frankie Dancehall Paul. Whenever I'm in London City, I listen to OG Briggy with Conscious Vibes for the youths of today's.
Okay, London Town, we're still rolling, okay. Want to hear the views from London Town. I want to hear some views from other brothers out there who's smoking the weed, okay? And, yeah, because typical in London Town, it's like people, I don't know, London Town, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like people looking for everybody to be perfect, for real. You know what I mean? Fair enough, I do all these education shows, you think, Ricky just admit that he smoke weed. Yeah, I do. You know what I mean? And I admit, London Town, I must be addicted to it while I'm continuing to do smoking. Because really and truly, I know really truly at the end of the day, it would be best for me not to smoke no drug because longer longevity, heart, lungs, good, you know what I mean, be much better. We've got to have a little take stuff in here. All right. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Yeah, great show, Briggy.
Yes.
Just tell it like it is, the truth. You understand? I smoke weed as well.
Yes,
and it's not like I'm a crazy man. You understand?
For real, blood. For real.
But just tell it like it is.
Yeah, man. I'll go one step even more deeper now.
What's that?
I used to even mess about with cocaine as well.
Ah.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
No, I haven't reached that stage. I'm still to the cannabis still, you understand?
Blood to be cutting this blood. Right. When I was a youth, I used to dabble around with it.
Yeah.
Because I was exposed to it. I never know no blood. You know what I'm saying? But
well, just tell it like it is anyway, the truth. You understand? You don't get this on any other radio show.
But put it this way, Bob, this is exactly what time it is. Blood, there's a force that's moving out there, blood, right now. Yeah, and it's just moving everybody to just come real, because this is the time we've just got to deal with everything.
True.
Yeah?
All right then, Briggy.
All right, blood. Enough respect, yeah?
Peace.
All right. Yes, London Town. I used to dabble with cocaine as well. I grew up in this state, London Town, and I mean, where I grew up, everybody around was just dealing with cocaine and stuff like that, heroin and stuff like that. Long before I even started to even get involved in coke, I see people weighing it up and everything in front of me and stuff like that. I never know where it was and things like that. No one ever told me no better. All I saw around me is people dealing with it and thinking to themselves, our father was saying it's the right thing to do. You see what I'm saying? That's the reason why we need to do shows like this. We really need to sometimes just let's be real, just tell it as it is. And above, you want to say something, could you, Brother Dane, yeah?
Yeah, as Briggy's saying here, it's about giving out information. It's about giving out both the good side and the bad side about drugs. We're not here to say, don't take drugs, because that's unrealistic. We don't expect our listeners to not ever take drugs. We're here about giving you the proper information so that at the end of the day, once you know all the facts about it, then you can decide whether, is it okay for me to smoke weed or take crack or whatever. You can make an informed choice, and that's what we're here about here today.
Yeah, that's right. And at the same time, we're here to look at it from a realistic perspective, yeah, and share our experience. Because that's why you forgot to tell you, London Town, what I used to do. Because I want you to phone in, and plus London Town, I stopped myself from smoking crack cocaine. I didn't get to, nobody was there to help me when I was down and out, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I am the way that I am now, and that's the reason why you hear me going the way I'm going on the radio. Because really and truly, like now, London Town, all I'm saying really at the end of the day, boy, we're here, we've got to clean up our community here, we've got to unify here, we're only here for a short space of time on this planet Earth here. It's not long, let's do the best that we can, and let's be willing to die too, because like I say, we're here to unify and for the youth. I'm getting a little bit emotional at the time, because, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying certain things, a lot of people wouldn't expose themselves like that. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't business. Because if me admitting that is going to help 10 people or one person here to turn their life around, yeah, you can come and reason with me, man. Yeah, I can help you, lot.
Yeah, Big T, for real, Briggy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like me, see, I gave up, I gave up weed about 3 years ago, see, because what happened to me, see, I wouldn't put it on my worst enemy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, put it this way, I had headaches for about 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? And I was moving slow and everything, you know what I'm saying? So I said to myself, what's going on? Went down to the hospital and all them things there. Hospital, the nurse laughed at me basically. She goes, I'm doing some continuous headaches and I'm moving slow. She laughed, you know what I'm saying? And I goes, boy, it's first and last time I smoke drugs. She laughed and she said, the amount of times she heard that kind of statement from people, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying to the youths I'm out there, seeing, we're sharing our experiences now, yeah? Because, as I say, well, you showed me a perfect man, I'll show you Jesus Christ.
Yes, London Town, yeah. Anyway, we're in the last 20 minutes of the Black Spiritual Metaphysical Regeneration Show. Don't forget, we've got RB coming at the top of the hour. If you want to phone in still, put any comments towards me. Like I said, I can deal with it. I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? If you've got any comments to put towards the brothers, they're here too. They can deal with it. They can handle it, yeah? Okay. If not, then we'll have to end the show quickly. Okay? But really and truly, right, it's only the last 20 minutes here. And I would like to hear some positive input still at the end of the day, yeah? Anyway, live at number 0958 504 906. That's 0958 504 906. Brothers, you got anything to say on that?
On a positive note, whatever drug you're taking, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's just about being open, as people say, being open and let people know the situation and get help. There is agencies out there that can help.
Okay, we've got live in London Town. We're going to take this live in, yeah? Okay. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Yeah, alright then.
Yo, what's your name, brother? Where you calling from?
Stephen from East.
Yeah, nice one, blood. Go on.
Yeah, boy, basically what I gotta say is, boy, bun the weed still, you know what I'm saying? Weed ain't no big thing, as long as you use it in, moderation, mind over matter and them kind of thing there. But what I really wanted to talk about was like the crack thing, you know what I'm saying? The crack thing's like getting out of order, the man them's gotta like, forget the papers, because that's what it's all boiling down to really. It's just a paper thing, you know what I'm saying? The man them's like shotting up one another and, you know what I'm saying? Game and idiot thing just for paper, really. It's for black people to unite still, that is the main key. They've got to like, you know what I'm saying? Look at the Indian people them. They like come over and they've like, yeah, we've been there before them. I'm not like dissing them in any way, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've done it good and it's only due to uniting and like being together and investing together and, you know what I'm saying? Black people like will shot their own brother just for like a pound or, you get what I'm dealing with still? Yeah, man, it's madness still, but boy, it's just for black man. You need more shows like this during daytime as well, you know what I'm saying? But not more on a drugs thing, more on a, you know what I'm saying, a peace thing for black people and for them to get together and, talk more and look where we're going in the world as a nation and, you know what I'm saying?
But Bradway, we have the people's talk shows still in the mornings too, from...
Yeah, they're in the morning.
Yeah, the people from about 11 till 2. No, 11 till 2 in the afternoon. Plus we've got talk shows all throughout the week from between 3 and 5. So, like, there's all kind of things going on.
Yeah, it's good work you're doing still, believe. Keep it up, Sin.
Yeah, blood, I'm just doing the best that I can do. At least I know that, blood, if I'm dead tomorrow, I know that I've said everything that I wanted to say. And I've got 200 shows on tape. Covering every single subject that's out there needs to be covered. You know what I'm saying?
So with that brother there, the brother who phoned a few phone calls before, you shouldn't even watch people like that, because that's the man who said after. So he ain't putting nothing positive into it, you know what I'm saying? It's them the kind of niggas that's making it hard for us still, you understand? Because they ain't putting nothing back into the community or black people saying to their brothers like, yeah, let's do this and that, or, you know what I'm saying? It's the negative things they're going on with. Because from you can see you're performing like this on a show and he's throwing up and giving you them negative vibes there. He ain't saying one, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold it up still, though, yeah?
Yeah, but enough respect anyway, yeah?
All right, yeah.
All right, peace. Okay. Heard it from the brother there. Anyway, I'll see you in a sec.
Yo, you hear me? The same time there, me yard and I chill. We just take in Genesis radio scene and listen to Briggy. I see them rough. And that's some black power thing them a deal with. Seeing people, black Judge says so.
Hey, London time, we've got another call. We're going to take this call there, yeah? All right, hello, Genesis Radio.
Oh, hello.
Hello, sis.
Yeah, I used to burn her for a long time. I still do, actually.
Okay.
But with her, it's just a case of mind over matter, I think, As that gentleman said before, you have to use it in moderation.
Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, I understand about the crack thing because I did double in that for a little while myself still, you know what I mean? But I was like you. I just stopped without no help from anybody. I just stopped, yeah. But I believe that I'm a strong person because I think it can get out of control, obviously, yeah. But I think, if you're a strong person, well, I believe that I'm a strong person, so for me, it was easy for me to give it up, yeah. But you see, alcohol, like it got substituted after that with alcohol, yeah. And alcohol is a really addictive drug, I think, yeah. To me, more than the crack. Because it was easy for me to get with the crack, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the alcohol ruins people. You know what people I see sitting there and smelling a drink and on the side corner like their life is done.
Yeah, I mean, you can end up drinking without even realising that you've got a problem where alcohol is concerned. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you look around you every day, you just see more and more people drinking. Do you see what I'm saying? Alcohol is a big problem. So that's all I want to say.
Okay, so it's nice one for you.
Yeah. Yeah, peace.
Enough respect to the max, yeah?
Okay, peace.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Genesis is a punk station. Genesis is a God station. I and I Rasta say so. Sin, settle.
Okay, London Town, the last, what do we say, for 15 minutes of the Black Spiritual Metaphysical Regeneration Show. We're talking about drugs, London Town, yeah. Want to hear your input, your views, how do you see the whole thing, you know what I mean, yeah? Or if there's any fight down, you're also welcome to do so too, yeah? Okay, we want to take this live link, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio.
I said to the brothers there, where did I understand that crack came first place?
Can you repeat that, please, brother?
Where did they think that crack came from in the first place?
Okay, wait.
Where it came from in the first place?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think here. I mean, from what little I know about crack is that initially it was like a rich person's drug. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rich person's drug. You know, it used to be very expensive. But then what the people who were in control of it, what they then decided was, boy, it's pretty addictive. But why not? Let's drop the price, get more people onto it. Yeah, because they know that in the long run, crack is the most expensive drug because you'll sell up everything. But you know where it came from, I don't really know the whole ins and outs, but that's what I know about crack.
Yeah, what about what's his name? Speed.
Speed?
Yeah.
Speed's been around for quite a long time. Adolf Hitler used to inject speed.
Into who?
Sorry?
Into himself.
Into himself, yeah. He used to keep himself awake. Yeah, Adolf Hitler. This is all like drugs facts that we know as drugs workers. Yeah, it's been around for quite a long time, and it was used for a long time. It was prescribed for people with slimming complaints. So if you wanted to lose weight, you know, you go to the GP and he prescribed you speed.
Well, what's that one you used in Vietnam on the soldiers? Was it ease? Ecstasy, isn't it?
Vietnam, I can't.
Yeah, I think ecstasy came from some of the drugs. I think, yeah, it was a painkiller in Vietnam.
You're talking about like ketamine. Ketamine was like it was originally a horse tranquilizer.
Is it that one?
Sorry, say again?
I think ecstasy as well. They came from one of the drugs they used in Vietnam, and they were getting addicted to it. And there's a hefty drug trade going on in Vietnam, isn't it?
To be honest, I don't really know what drug you're talking about there, but like with
ecstasy.
Ecstasy was legal in America right up until 1986, and it was used in psychotherapy. So, like, if someone had like marriage problems, you would go to the psychotherapist, and he would give you a couple of these, and then you and your partner would then go gooey gooey and all in love again type thing. But it was only banned in 1986.
Recent business, isn't it?
It's recent.
Yeah, but they had that in Vietnam, and a lot of the soldiers like getting addicted to stuff, and then they started teething it and selling it.
Right. You sure you're talking about ecstasy here or heroin?
Ecstasy. It was the actual drug. It was given to them by the medics. In concoction with other things, but then they started teething it and selling it and whatever. It was ecstasy.
Yeah, that may well have been the case. The government may well have been prescribing that to the soldiers whilst they was over there, because they was kind of isolated. But I think a lot of the veterans from Vietnam actually come back with problems.
Addictions, isn't it?
Yeah, problem around heroin addiction. I think the majority of them come back with that as a problem.
I mean, thing to remember if you're looking at government is with LSD. Yeah, the government.
That's the one. That's what I meant. LSD.
Yes,
that's the one.
I know what you're talking about. With the American government, what they used to do is they had these training camps, and they would get soldiers to take like 100 days leave or so, and they send them to these training camps, and they'd give them like 100 times normal dose of LSD. And those people who do not know what LSD is a hallucinogen. So basically, it makes you see things that probably aren't there, or it crosses over all your senses.
Mm-hmm.
So your taste, your sight, your smell, your hearing, it crosses all your senses over. And the American government was giving the soldiers all of these nice little drugs, and then seeing how they would react. So that's what the American government was doing with the soldiers, yeah.
Yeah, see. It was given to them by the medics, isn't it?
Sorry, say again?
It was given to them by the medics.
That's right, yeah.
And then they started selling it, teething it and selling it. That's the one. That's what I meant, yeah.
You've still got soldiers today who are trying to sue the American government you know, giving them these drugs. But you know, with the American government and any government, they're just denying it. So yeah, it was LSD.
I suppose we're probably going to get a new drug coming out because of what they had in the Gulf War, isn't it? Something's going to come out from the Gulf War and they start filling it in the streets.
Probably. I mean, the thing is with drugs, they're always looking at new ways of getting new buzzes. You know what I mean? So, you know, they'll be in a chemist and they'll make up another drug. I mean, most drugs out on the market here now was used at one point medically. So you've got these big pharmaceutical companies making all these drugs up, and then the side effects, this is what people are trying to get. You know, look at the side effects, see what side effects might be hallucinating. So, you know, we're always making new drugs up.
All right, blood. Nice one, yeah?
Okay.
My name is Leo X. Chester. I want to big up Briggy for the Black Spiritual Mental Regeneration Show. I'm out of here. Peace.
Okay, we've got another live link. We're going to take this live link, London. Okay, hello, Genesis Radio.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I found... Sorry, let me just turn my radio down. Yeah, I phoned up a minute ago and I just had to phone back. I'm glad you raised the point about making new drugs and that. Because my view, personally, whether you think it's a dim view or not, it's just mine. I think that crack is obviously it is a man-made drug, but I think it was, like, made to, like, you know what I'm saying, bring down black people. It was put in the ghettos and other countries, you know what I'm saying, just with the guns and other ammunition for black people to, like, kill off each other, you know what I'm saying?
So basically, brother, you're saying chemical warfare, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying?
I think so too, brother, for real.
And like, it is happening, but at the same sense, it's backfiring on them. Because now, it's like killing off their own people, you know what I'm saying? And like, their own people are getting hooked on it more than like what we are, in a sense. And they're like, hooked on the other one to come down or whatever they say is the heroin. You know what I'm saying? So like, in a sense, it's kind of backfiring on them, but it's a black man, as I said before, to wise up and like, you know what I'm saying, get out of them thing, and it's to like to educate the youth as well, and you know what I'm saying, from young really, you like got to drum it into them. From your don't, it's just gonna like get worse, and it is getting worse, but whilst we're talking about it, at least something's happening and people are listening, and you know?
For real, black still.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
But I'm just saying that my view, I only went to call just to say my view. I definitely think it is a man-made drug. I'm getting someone keep beeping me. I'm going to have to cut off. Sorry, yeah?
Okay.
It's Damien. I mean, like our last caller just now said there, you only have to look at history to see that where drug use is concerned, if it affects the black people and not any other population, then it's okay. We can kill ourselves, you know, it doesn't matter. But as soon as it comes out of our community and starts affecting other people, that's when people start to say, well, crack's now a problem and heroin's now a problem.
Okay, brother, then enough is better. We've got live link. We'll take this live link, yeah? Okay. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Hello, Genesis? Yeah, I was just wondering if the brother, with his program here, if he was thinking of like integrating some form of black study awareness thing with his drug counselling kind of thing, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Saying like, because like it's a two-way thing.
Yes, sir.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Saying it's like you've got the drug thing on the one side, but then to come away from that, yeah, you need some kind of like positive element of self, if you see what I mean.
Yes.
Kind of thing, you know, to kind of mix up the two, you know.
Yeah.
And try and come from that kind of a way, this thing, you know what I mean?
But still,
nice
one, but it's really hard to kind of get a really positive aspect on drugs, because really we know what we're doing to our bodies and stuff like that. It's not right.
It's
really hard to go on.
because like what you were saying anyway, right, about the weed thing, yeah, kind of like I've been smoking weed now for what, about 10 years, yeah, right, and I feel much the same like you. You know what I'm saying? Like give up and everything, right? And it's strange because I've given up smoking weed within the past 2 weeks, you know what I mean? It's like, I think that any kind of smoke, you know, weed, like if you drink it or it's alright, you know what I mean? But any kind of like smoking, a smoking form, You know, I don't really, I can't deal with that, you see what I mean? Like, any kind of smoke, you see what I mean? Going inside you. You know what I'm saying? So I've been like, when I've been stopped for the past 2 weeks anyway, you know? But really, I was just trying to say, well, I was just wondering if that brother was like trying to integrate some form of black awareness of self inside of his drug finger, you know? Because I do think that is a positive thing, you know?
Yes, bruv. In the work that Harringay Yap and the Raw service do,
Yeah.
that is most certainly part and parcel of the service, because we do try to deal with stuff from a holistic standpoint, deal with everything in terms of that individual. But if the person is in denial around that stuff, then maybe we can look at addressing that. But if the person doesn't want to acknowledge that, then that is their choice. But we do look at taking work forward in that way. There is an educational element within the counselling service as well.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to say anyway.
But see, brother, it'd be nice if a lot of more of us, our own people, could address these situations still. Because really, I mean, to me, Brother Dave's the only black man I know who's dealing with drugs, you know, dealing with rehabilitation, stuff like that. So I don't really know about nobody else out there, you know what I mean, brother? I mean, like, you know what happens once people like him, people like me, Big T and all of us out here, we're trying to do things here. Once there's nobody else around us to help us, we just get burnt out.
Yeah,
true. I don't know, I'm not burnt out myself personally yet. I've been going on for a long time now, man. I'm surely starting to get burnt out, for real though. By the way, enough respect for your call anyway, brother, yeah?
Okay,
love to the max,
Peter,
brother.
Yeah, I love.
Okay.
Well, easy, Briggy. No respect to the marks. This is Luciana saying, we're all in this thing together. Then how can't we all just leave as one? Yeah. Whoa. Pick it up the runway when Briggy starts to play. Yes, I'm up the runway. That's a Luciano say. You're in tune to the physical station. Genesis.
Okay, we've got a live call. We're going to take this live link down in time. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Hello, is it Briggy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Briggy, enough respect, man. I just want to say about the last caller who was on, a couple of callers ago.
Yeah, brother, go.
Yeah, about the crack cocaine in the areas, you know?
Yes, sir.
I believe that it's definitely a plan, you know, to back up the people, them, you know?
For real.
And the thing is, like, I can't believe how we as a people are allowing this to happen to ourselves.
That's right, brother.
Can't believe it, because it's terrible, man. You know, I would say that weed, I'm a weed smoker myself. I don't see nothing too wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Go on, blood.
Yeah, I don't see too much wrong with that, but it's the crack and heroin and all that kind of things. It's just mashing up people, you know?
Put it this way, blood. I'll tell you what. I mean, even now, blood. I mean, because there's youths out there what I know that are selling them stuff, and I stop them and I talk to them about my personal experience here, and I try my best to tell them to lay off it. But still, it's like it's just like. It's crazy. Cause remember, it used to be weed people used to be dealing with, and now it's just
back in the early 70s, 80s, peacefulness and weed, and you know.
For real, brother.
Everything was nice. You didn't have this madness, this craziness going on.
You see, and like,
it's plain to see.
Yeah, like the money and the Versace's and the rest of and the glamour.
That's right.
And you know the biggest influence on black people as well. The youth that film Scarface. I keep hearing enough people talking, giving it all the Scarface talk.
Yeah.
And all their madness. You see what I'm saying? Because obviously, brother, we're getting influenced as well, you know what I'm saying to you? At the same time.
It's up to us, you know, to try to reach to the younger ones now, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
you know?
brother, that's what I'm here for. That's what I've been here for all this time. I'm not here to entertain nobody else. You know what I mean, brother?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just here to be real, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if people will have a blast at me and dig at me or whatever.
Yeah, man, don't worry about all that, man. They're just fools, you know? They ain't got nothing to say, nothing. You know, you're just doing works there. What's positive for the black people? We can see that you love black people. You know.
For real, brother.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here, blood. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah, man. Enough respect to that, man.
All right, my brother.
You know?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough respect, bud. Peace.
Yo, this is the spiritual, the mental, and the physical regeneration show with Briggy, and I love that. TC out them consciousness. Highly high.
Okay, we've got another live. We're going to take this live link. Okay, hello, Genesis Radio.
Hi, I was talking about the budget in this, right?
Yeah,
Did I feel that crack cocaine affects a black man?
Sorry, brother, you cracked up there a little bit. Can you just repeat that, please?
Did the budget in the studio feel that crack cocaine affects a black man more than it would affect a white man?
Yeah, we asked that question earlier on, but we can go over it again.
Yeah.
As I was saying earlier on, as Brother Courtney said earlier on, crack and cocaine, it's, you know, we've got these natural endorphins in our body already, and with us, with crack and cocaine especially, our body thinks it's a part of us. So that's why drugs like that is even more dangerous for us, because our body sees it's part of us.
Do you know what that is?
Do I know why it is? It's just the way that we are made up. You know, Brother
Yeah.
Courtney was talking about melanin, for example. That's a big part of it. I mean, I don't know the whole... Sorry.
I know why it is.
Go on in, explain why then.
Because Africans in America have been tested out why it also would affect a black man more than it would affect a white man. Crack cocaine has been developed to react with melanin.
Right.
It reacts with melanin. Melanin is the natural chemical in all black people.
That's right.
It reacts with melanin as soon as the black man is haywire.
Right.
That is the reason, and that is why it was developed. It reacts with melanin. It's been proved and tested.
I see what you're saying there, brother. You know, for us, it's about us passing on information here, yeah? We don't know everything, and what you're saying, I'm really got enough respect for you ringing up and telling us this, yeah? Because we can then go out and we can tell more people the score, what actually is going on. You know what I mean? So enough respect for you, bro.
All right, I'm going, yeah, but I'll remember that. It's there for black people. All right, I'm going, yeah?
All right, thank you.
Okay, there, brother, enough respect here. What we're going to do, we're going to get into some ads here, and hopefully we should be... RB should be in the house after here, but if he's not done the time, you know the live number 0958 504 906, yeah, put your views across. We want to hear everything what's going on here. And like I say, the brother system out there in the community, we know that families and they're suffering one way or the other here. Please just phone through, man, and let's just get this, just deal with this thing, yeah? Right, I'm going to take this last call for now, yeah, and then I'm going to go into the ad breaks, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio.
Hello, Briggy.
Yo, sis.
Yeah, it's Jay from Deptford.
Okay, how you doing?
Yeah, keep up the good work anyway.
Yes, sis.
Yeah, no, I was just listening about, you know, the drugs problem and everything, and it's just, you know, I think it's hitting a lot of people, you know?
For real, sis.
And, like, it's just, we've got to talk about it, man, because it's really bad. People killing people and money, and it's just, it's going too far now.
For real, sis. And two people's making money off of selling weed and also dealing with the crack and all that. I know enough people getting a bit funny, like, you know what I mean? So even,
that's right.
You know, people, you know, because us, we get kind of fun of it, but like I say, we just deal with it, yeah?
That's
like
right.
Senses, yeah?
Because it's just, you know, it's looking for money, you know? It's the money aspect, I think, is got to do with it as well. You know what I mean? And people, you know, it's like uneducated people, and they're looking to try and better their life, but they're going about it the wrong way, you know? And like, I smoke weed. Yeah, I smoke weed. Everybody's confessing today.
But you know, it's like, from me confessing, like everybody I confess, right? Yeah.
No, but you know, I smoke weed. I haven't touched anything else. But, you know, I'm not really interested in anything else. I don't even drink. You know, not into the drink either. But it's like, people are just out there, they're looking for something. But, you know, there's people out gambling as well. They're just like, they're looking for somewhere to try, and everybody wants to win the lottery, you know, try and better themselves, but not with the drugs. Not with the drugs. Too much people dying about it.
Yeah, but we got to clean drugs out our community completely, sis. That's
For
the reality
real.
of it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, a lot of the reasons why people still stay on drugs as well is because of their surroundings too. People who can affiliate with them, basically. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? You see? Anyway, sis.
Anyway, safe, yeah? Keep on. I listen to you every week, so keep it up.
Yeah, enough respect, sis.
All right, you too.
You take care, yeah?
All right, bye.
Okay, bye for now, sis.
All right, take care. Bye.
Okay, peace. Okay, London Town, we're going to get into some ads here, and basically, yeah, I'll catch you lot up on the other side, yeah? Peace.
This is community advert. Are you satisfied with your child's education? If not, then why not send them down to the Ebony Saturday School, now celebrating its 10th year. Ebony Saturday School provides a small group tuition in mathematics and English for children from 3 to 16 years. It also provides diagnostic assessments, dance and drama workshops, preschool workshops, and Black History classes, all taught by trained and dedicated teachers. Ebony schools are situated all over South London. To find out the nearest one to you, ring 0181 850 6225. That's 0181 850 6225. Ebony, helping to educate your
Caribbean Saturday School, starting February 97. Give your child the opportunity to benefit from extra maths, English, and Black History tuitions on Saturday mornings between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. The school system is failing black children. Black children need to learn their history. Without this education, they are lost. The Saturday School is situated at 12 to 14 Thornton Street, London, SW9 OBL, opposite the White Horse Pub, Brixton Road. We are also seeking teachers and volunteers for maths, English, and Black History. For further information, contact the office on 0171 978 8171. For an informal discussion, contact Mr. Donovan on 0956 907 305. Children are our future. Help strengthen their foundation.
Black Awareness Day on Bank Holiday Monday, the 26th of May, 1997. Come along and join in the debates with guest speakers on education, economics and black on black violence. There'll be stalls with black produce and refreshments on sale, with many more activities going on throughout the day. Admission is free, but donations are most welcome. Open your mind and come along to Black Awareness Day from 12 noon till 10 o'clock at the Moonshot Community Centre, Hagnall Street, SC14. Nearest British Rail, New Cross Station. Nearest Tube, New Cross Gate. For more details, telephone 0958 396 453 or 0181 291 4038. This event is sponsored by Genesis Enterprises.
Today's case is the People versus Briggy. The judge has moved the location because of the embarrassing outburst from some of Briggy's brethren last time in court. This time the judge has moved the case to a white suburb with an all-white jury.
One man has conquered them all. Now he faces his most fearsome challenge ever.
May the accused step forward, please. Is your name O.G. Briggy, who lives at...
Yeah, that's me. I'm the one.
Radio stations are therefore DJs who battle each other like little kids by playing the latest promos and promoting their raves. But you, on the other hand, especially you on Genesis, decided to take a different direction, a new approach, by educating the people, giving them back their minds, their thinking, their dignity, by teaching hatred, lies, deception. But may I ask of whom? Of what? You are paranoid, you have a chip on your shoulders, and you have left me no choice. But I say, before I ask the jury for a verdict, what have you got to say for yourself? You despicable, delinquent infidel. I rest my case.
Yeah? Well, if it wasn't for me and my people, you folks wouldn't be here. And if what I'm saying is wrong, prove it's wrong. Or shut the fuck up.
Dare you? Don't you know I've got power over you? Don't you know I can crucify you?
You're for dead, punk. You're for dead, punk. Where that been at? Punk.
Arrest him! Arrest him! Where's the ambulance? Somebody call an ambulance! Now!
The Yard Squad.
91.6 FM.
Okay, London Town. Back on the other side, the phone's been popping since between then, yeah, but I'm going to take this live link here. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Yes, Briggy.
Yeah.
I phoned up last week on the brother that was in the paper. Anyway, I'd like to take my hat off to the brother sitting there. I done a study in 1989 for part of my degree, yeah, about 3 estates in East London with drugs, yeah? Now, back then, the biggest drug was crack cocaine, cannabis, and heroin. But what I would say is that the amount of people who were taking it then, who were taking the hard A-class drugs, such as crack and heroin, were smaller than cannabis. Now, I know from just looking around me every day that those things have escalated. So, I mean, the brother there is quite welcome to have that. I've still got it here, and he can have that study, and if he wants to look, if he can get anything from it, I'm happy to give to him. Another point I would say, as a man who's, like, trained to be a teacher, I'd say that there is a really big epidemic within the community from taking drugs with regards to behavior problems, learning difficulties, and also disability within the community. I would say that that some forms of autism, for example, come from drug taking, from my own view. And a statistic what people out there might want to know is that compared to every white person who's statistic in schools, there's four black people who would have autism. So the things are growing now. Also, with as it comes to behavioural difficulties, it's also been shown that people who mothers that have smoked cannabis, for example, while pregnant, have more chance of developing a child who will be disruptive in school. So, I mean, I'm a man who sat down with the best men and smoked a joint. But, you know, those things have to be taken into consideration. I just wanted to know what the brother there would like to say about that. Most definitely. Oh yeah, it's an epidemic now, brother. Yes.
Calls him schizophrenic.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because from my experience of working in the mental health field and special needs field, I would say that there is, I mean, we all see the brothers out there on the street every day, you know what I mean? And, boy, there is an epidemic out there, and no one is really looking at it. And when, for example, yourself works with drugs, or myself works with people who are in that position, I mean, the black community looks upon it as it's been a bit taboo. But really and truly, we as a community really need to address these problems because they are escalating to a large degree. The amount of, I mean, for example, I drove from somewhere just now, and I saw 2 brothers. I don't know whether they're on some kind of drug or whether they're mentally ill, care in the community, but they, you know, just 2 people just from a little 5-minute drive. So, I mean, in any part of the country, any part of our communities, we can see it right now. And we really must address this drug problem. And as I said, I've done a study in 89. You're welcome to have it, you know. And it is a really big growing thing that no one's really dealing with at the moment, and I'm really, really happy that a man like you is standing there and like dealing with it. And big up Briggy for even just having it on his show.
Yes, big up. If it's possible, I'd like to get the details off you for getting that report, if it's possible.
No problem, no problem. As I said, it was way back in 89. It wasn't a big study, but it was just a thing that I'd done, you know, just to, you know what I mean? Because when you're doing a degree, like most people know, sometimes you do things that are around you. So right now, that was an easy thing to do. And as it goes to heroin, I would say that is the #1 thing at the present moment, personally, from my point of view, as that a lot of people are getting hooked on that. It's like they're coming off the weed and they're just getting hooked on the heroin hardcore.
And crack as well, my friend. At this point, I'd just like to give out my telephone number, our telephone numbers to everybody here.
Yeah, sure,
It's
no problem.
Drug Advisory Service for Harringay, or DASH for short. And telephone number is 0171 272 2757. That's 0171 272 2757. And you've got the Youth Awareness Programme, or YAP for short. And their telephone number is 0181 493 9000. That's 0181 493 9000. Any problems, or you want to speak to us tomorrow, give us a ring at work, and we're more than helpful, more than likely to help you out and point you in the right direction.
I just wanted to, as a man who works in the drug rehabilitation field, what is your view on the situation with mental health, learning difficulties and behavioural difficulties, especially within the education system? Do you think there is a link, or is it just up in the air?
Brother, they all go hand in hand. They all go hand in hand. Mental health, learning disabilities, they all go together. Now that you've got a caring community, we need to, so-called care in the community. We need to start looking at all these issues here now. I do understand where you're coming from, and I agree with what you're saying, mate.
All right then. Anyway, keep up the good work, man, because boy, you need more of you men out there, man. And Briggy, keep up the good work. Respect every time.
Okay, nice one, brother. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, London Town, it's the last call I'm going to take for the night. Gosh, man, them dogs, man. Like, they might eat each other, ain't it? Okay. Anyway, London Town, that's the last call I'm going to take for now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let the brothers them repeat their phone numbers one more time, say their good nights, basically, and I'll catch you back up on the other side,
Right, telephone number for Dash is 0171 272 2757. That's 0171 272 2757. Telephone number for the Youth Awareness Programme, or YAP, and that is 0181 493 9000. That's 0181 493 9000. Contact Jib or Dane, and we'll be here to help. Thank you.
Okay, on that note there, brothers, you know what? Enough respect for coming in still. Thank you so much for sharing the time with us at the end of the day, well appreciated, Enough respect. Andy Morrison, enough respect for being in the studio still. Big T, all the top, bodyguard, bad boy, jingle, artist put together, rude boy. Okay, also, Philip Level, bad boy show earlier on today, enough respect to the Philip Level also. Also, brother Shorty, also the Scratch Master D, and the rest of the crew, man. Everybody, Be Nice, all Genesis crew, the brothers from the nation, Everybody, hold it up, And our duty here is to serve the community, and just be real to the community, Okay, Big T wants to say something quickly.
Let's not to big up RB for that T-shirt the other day, Hell no. You remember the T-shirt? The T-shirt, hell no. I had one bad boy T-shirt the other day.
Okay, London Town. Don't forget we got our Black Awareness Day, And if the brothers then would come down still and speak on drugs, if they could come on our Black Awareness Day and speak on drugs, enough respect for that still, Okay. Big T, want to say something again, quickly?
Don't forget Black Awareness Day on the 26th, bank holiday. Okay, just a little awareness I'm giving out to the youths, we come out the ragga scene now. They've gone into this garage tip now, and ecstasy's running around rampant. You know what I'm saying? So to the youths them out there, especially the young girls, watch your drinks, yes, when you're in raves, because